Supreme Court.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully some of you caught the intro. I do think that was a good song, good little vibe there. But I just wanted to put this stuff together. So, Epstein got arrested, right? And then he disappeared or died or whatever they said, suicide, whatever they said. And then you had the whole lockdown, right? So I'm just walking it through. This is how I see it. It's okay, Epstein, suicide or whatever they said. Lockdown, people just put in in their houses and basically treated like prisoners for a couple of years. Then you have the Ghislaine Maxwell case, right? And then she, I guess, gets found guilty, but nobody else really does, and that whole narrative just kind of washed over society. And then you have this judge who is notoriously soft on child exploitation, and now they've duped a lot of left-wing Black groups into thinking that it's this massive win for, empowerment in America. I just find that, series of events in my perspective pretty fascinating. Overall, the name of this topic, thank you guys for being here, is I'm not racist. It's kind of, it's obviously not a joke, but I'm just saying everyone's you're racist, paper towels are racist, the left's racist, the right's racist, being racist is racist, not being racist is racist, being loud is racist, being quiet is racist. If you're white and you talk, you're racist. If you're white and silence is violence, so I'm kind of just making a joke out of that because it's overused. But in general, I just wanted to say, in my perspective, why I think the right wing is more honest about this stuff. They always say, well, we want a Black woman to be the Supreme Court justice. And all it takes is here's someone with the agenda that, a lot of the people running the country want. So they put her and everyone wows over it. But it's do you really want a Black woman? That's what you want. That's all you want. Just a Black woman like Candace Owens. Oh, you don't want that type of mentality. Oh, a Black person. Oh, like Clarence Thomas. Oh, you don't like Clarence. So my point is this. I don't care that the left wing disagrees with me. I think they're getting a little creepy in my perspective. However, if they were just honest about it and said, hey, we like people who agree with us, right? We like Black people who agree with us, women who agree with us, trans people who agree with us, white people who agree with us. We like people who agree with our agenda. I would somewhat respect them. I'd be like, that's true. That is what you want. It's the same with the right wing. What I find, though, is the Republican Party is just more honest about it. And I'm not shilling for the Republican Party. They're not perfect. There's a lot of snakes, but they don't act like they like everybody, right? They're we like, Clarence Thomas. We like Candace Owens. We don't care about your race, they say in the Republican Party, in the mainstream Republican Party. Just, we want people with our values, American values, conservative values. And I find that that's the truth. It's they don't care in the Republican Party, the modern Republican Party. They don't care what race you are. They just want you to agree with them. But they actually tell you that. We don't care what you are. Just agree with us. On the left wing, they act like they just care so much about Black women, but they just really want to find somebody that could be put in a place that agrees with them. Because if all they really wanted was a Black woman, then they would choose Candace Owens or a right-wing, Black woman justice, which they're never going to do. Which, once again, just tell the truth. That's all I ask. So, I without getting too much into that, I've said it before. I just want to really explain that because I'm so weirded out by the fact that they're always lying about this stuff. It's don't. Charlemagne's we want a Black woman. It's you don't, dude. You don't want just a Black woman. I know, I'm not going to say hundreds, but at this point, social media, I do know hundreds of Black women who disagree with you, who are honestly, Charlemagne, no offense, smarter than you, wiser than you, better Americans than you. It's okay. But you wouldn't want them in power. So I find that the right wing is honest about that. We just want somebody who agrees with us. We want someone who pushes our narrative. And the left wing always acts like it's about the race. So it's I just see it like this before we move on. Epstein, allegedly, apparently, reportedly, accordingly, whatever you want to say, mysteriously, suicide. So they say. And then that's this big narrative. Everybody knows, whether you're left wing or right wing, Epstein. Some people say Trump, everybody knows Clinton. So it's everybody knows that this is some sort of big thing, right? This guy's connected to a lot of powerful people on the left, on the right, whatever you want to say, celebrities, whatever. It seems like he's the top dog in this market of, God knows what he was doing. And most people here know, so he goes away. And then there's Ghislaine Maxwell gets arrested. We go on lockdown. I feel like the whole country got imprisoned, not all the bad pedophiles, everybody got treated like prisoners. And then Ghislaine Maxwell, that got swept under the rug really fast. Yeah, they had a trial, but nobody else really got held accountable. Names weren't coming out. And then right after that, they're like, we need a black woman judge, just miraculously a black woman who happens to be semi-soft on the topic of the Epstein-Ghislaine matter. And then you have these groups just like, I mean, I'll play the clip for people who didn't come in again because it's pretty funny, but you have these groups like celebrating, and it's like, guys, just be honest. Like if Candace Owens got in, and I'm not trying to just be like generic and use Candace, but I'm just, I feel like she's probably the most famous black woman conservative, but it's like, would they be celebrating this because of her? Of course not. So just be honest. Be like, we got a Democrat in, we got a left winger in, stop. Just be honest. That's all I ask. Be like, we got someone who agrees with us into power. There's no way this celebration would have been happening if it were like, Winsome Sears on the Supreme Court. So it's just so funny that like so many people still buy into this and they're like, this is about women and black. It's like, it's not. They're using you. They're exploiting you. Oh, and miraculously, none of these left-wing black groups seem to care that they were kicking black people and other ethnicities out of bars, restaurants, jobs, sports leagues, arenas, concerts, travel plans. Oh, that doesn't, register your radar of racism, right? Oh my God, everybody's against us, except I just miraculously am on the side of the people who are kicking black people out of sports leagues. It's like, do these, but we care so much about race. Just stop. You care about your agenda and your agenda's wrong. So, before I play the clip again, it's like self-accountability goes a long way. If you keep metaphorically eating the cheese in the trap and blaming someone else, it's like, yes, there are injustices in the world, but if you keep falling for the same trap over and over and over again, nobody can help you. A majority of your group is voting for people that are kicking your race out of restaurants for the crime of not having a synthetic mRNA injection. Like Kyrie Irving needs medical advice from Bill Gates. Look at Bill Gates and look at Kyrie Irving. Tell me who is more physically healthy. It's not that hard. The least you could do is like try to get these Democrats off people like Kyrie's back, but I'm going to play it again, and I have a really like wild second segment for you. So I do actually like this song. I respect talent. I love music. I have a new song, Ukraine Flag in the Bio. It's out now. Just search Anomaly or Ukraine Flag in the Bio on Spotify. But here it is, folks. I mean, they're celebrating a race and a gender that they don't even know exists. It's like, what's a woman? Oh, believe all women. Here's a woman judge. We don't know what it is. And now we're enthusiastically celebrating whatever.
It's rolling. We've come a long way
to Justice Brown Jackson.
We came in to celebrate
Justice Brown Jackson.
We came from the Harriet and Sojourner
to Justice Brown Jackson.
Ida B. Wells and Dr. King.
Justice Brown Jackson.
Shirley Chisholm.
Justice Brown Jackson.
Barbara Jordan and Maxine Waters.
Justice.
All right, so she put Harriet Tubman and Dr. Martin Luther King in the same breath as Maxine Waters. Are you kidding? Like, can I do that for white people? Can I just be like, yeah, Thomas Jefferson is the same as Pete Buttigieg. I don't see a difference. It's like, what? And it's everybody else's fault. Like, yeah, it's like Maxine Waters, Martin Luther King, and, Harriet Tubman in the same sentence. It's like, yeah, George Washington, Beto O'Rourke, like Ron Perlman, it's like, no, I actually don't know. I actually have no idea what you're talking about because you're just like grasping at history and putting in like Maxine Waters, like as if she's Martin Luther King or something. It's like, it's ridiculous, but it's like, I don't know. Just be honest. I mean, I get it. Like if you really care about your race over politics, whatever. It doesn't, I'm not the thought police, right? I'm not the government telling you that hate speech is a crime. I actually find it hilarious in a weird way. If you care about your race, I'm not going to stop you. There's going to be plenty of people who will try. I won't. But you don't really care about your race or gender. You just want people to agree with you, just like Republicans. They just tell the truth about it. We don't care if you're Winsome Sears, Candace Owens, they don't even care if you're gay anymore. They're just like, whatever, just vote for us and give us your money. Like I find it oddly, even if you agree with it or not, I find it oddly honest. Republicans are like, we don't care who you are. You're a trans, whatever. Just give us your money for the Save America Super PAC. And what I'm saying? Be somewhat conservative and you're in the Big Ten. And on the left wing, they're like, we care about trans and black and women, but we don't know what a woman is, but we're not sure what they are. But it's racist to say that there's a woman, but we need a woman there. But we also don't want to define woman. But it's like, just stop lying. You don't just want a random black woman like, oh, that we really care about. You care about your agenda, which would be fine if you just stop lying about everything all the time. It's so weird. All right, so this is a second story. It's pretty hilarious and cringe, but also messed up. I have to make this funny or else I'm like annoyed all the time. So there's this like journalist named Thor Benson, and everybody on the left wing hates Andy No. I consider him, he's like a gay right-wing journalist who is like a Antifa ragdoll. I'm not trying to be rude. He just like shows up at Antifa events and they like throw things at him. And like, I feel like he like kind of likes it. I'm not saying he does because he doesn't, but like at the same time, he's like always there. Like they're like throwing like oil on him and he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, this is going to be good for Twitter though. It's going to no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know if Andy No likes it or not, but someone said he's not right wing. I mean, I don't know what he is. I'm just saying he's like anti-Antifa, but it's like he always shows up and just gets like ragdolled by them. And he's like, oh, I'm being oppressed. Oh my God, I'm going to get on Fox News though. No, I don't care. And he seems like a nice guy, but in general, he's a journalist who's not like far left and he thinks Antifa's bad. And like the left wing hates this guy, even though he's like a gay Asian. I mean, he's not like far right. He's just like a normal, moderate, like not complete degenerate, I guess, in some forms of politics, and like they can't stand that. So they're always trying to like abuse this guy. It's really weird because he's whatever, but like I don't know, like the left hates him. So this guy who happens to be a Caucasian, I believe, he looks like it. Maybe he just hasn't had a lot of sunlight. I don't know. Maybe he's like Sean King. Maybe he's really black. I can't. I don't want to be a transphobe. Maybe he's not even a guy. Maybe his name's Guy Benson. Maybe his real name is Girl Benson. Maybe his name is Trans Benson. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm allowed to report anymore. It's like this guy is a polyamorous, non-binary, trans, sodomite, home. I don't know. I think it's a guy and I think he's white, but he's a left-wing journalist who was like, oh, I saw Andy No out and I really, told him he was garbage. But it wasn't Andy No. It was just like a random Asian guy. So it's like left-wingers are so tolerant. They're trying to like abuse random homosexual, like, not left-wing journalists, Asian guys, but instead they're like yelling at random Asian people in public. It's really odd, but it is like oddly also funny, but it's also not funny. Stop yelling at random Asian people. I actually, I'm not going to say I love Asians because it's like, oh, I love black people. I love white. It's just like a virtue signal. It's like, I like good people, of all ethnic groups. And then there's some I don't like. But, I do feel like Asians, I feel like they work hard. They're not on average, there's some lazy Asians. But, I rock with Asian Americans. I feel like they're being discriminated against because they work hard. And, I got your back, Asian Americans. Anomaly's not out here hating on you, trying to take away your Harvard scholarship because you're Asian. I don't like that. But anyway, let's look at the story because it's oddly funny / not good. So this is Thor Benson, the maybe white, maybe guy, writer for Daily Beast, Atlantic, Rolling Stone, NBC, and Business Insider. Of course, he writes for all of those, politics, text, and science. So he said, I just ran into Andy No at a bar in New Orleans. I politely told him he's a garbage person. LOL. Oh, yeah, I really told him off. And then he's like, he just laughed. I think my comments made him nervous. LOL. And then Andy No is like, Thor Benson, a white freelance writer, thought he found me and instead harassed a random Asian in New Orleans and made him leave a bar. So it turns out that the random Asian guy that Thor Benson was like harassing was not even Andy No. They do this all the time. And it really frustrates me because I don't like the stereotype that all Asian men look the same or all Asians look the same. They don't. They are unique individuals. Stop treating them all like, that's like, they're always talking about like racism, it's like, he's just out here just like abusing some random Asian dude because he looks like Andy No. It's like, dude, if you're not keen enough to tell the difference between two Asian guys, maybe you shouldn't just be harassing random people. And maybe, just maybe you shouldn't be so mad at Andy No. I mean, the dude doesn't even do anything. He's just like, Antifa's violent and they like throw things at him and he like cries and then like, goes on Fox News. And, I mean, he's not like a top million threat in America. I mean, the guy is pretty chill for the most part, it seems like, and like left wingers just love to abuse him, but they love to abuse him so much that they just like start abusing random Asian people on behalf of Andy No, thinking it's him because I guess he doesn't look unique enough. He doesn't have like, I guess like purple hair or something. So I guess he has, he dresses moderately or something. He doesn't stand out. So they just, it's like probably some random dude like off work, he's busting his behind at work. And then he's just getting yelled at by left-wing journalists. It's just like wild because they're always like, we're so tolerant, we're so peaceful. I'm like, so why are you so mad at some gay Asian dude because he's not as far left as you? Like, just calm down. It's so weird. I would never do. It's like if I wasn't sure that it was somebody, first of all, I wouldn't even do that. It's just like, get over yourself. It's just kind of funny, but it's also kind of messed up. So Asian Americans, Anomaly has your back, and left-wing journalists, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing, but it's like this whole facade. Are people really buying it anymore? I mean, I know on my channel, like people tend to agree, except for when I talk about Trump selling vaccines. But for the most part, it's so obvious now. It's like 10 years ago, it was hidden. There was like pretty sneaky sort of agendas going on, and now they're just straight up in your face. I actually have, I mean, maybe I'll save it for another. I think I'm going to save it for another stream, but I went on this climate change activist group on Twitter. Okay. So there's like new groups on Twitter and it said climate change group. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm going to click on this. And I found this meme of a flower and all the petals said something else. And it said climate change in the middle. It said, I mean, I'm not going to pull it up on the screen, but I'm just going to look so I'm accurate. It had so many things that had nothing to do with climate change. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I'm not saying this, oh my God, if you're right wing, you're good. If you're left wing, you're bad. I'm not saying that, but I literally think like the left wingers who are becoming like listening to all the propaganda, they're literally becoming like schizophrenic. It's not even like 10 years ago, you're like, yeah, I agree with like racial equality. Okay, what does that mean? It means stop arresting people for marijuana. What else does it mean? It means they need this. Like, they actually, even whether you agreed or disagreed with certain things they were saying, they had like a point that was like somewhat succinct, where it's like, it was debatable, but it was like, oh, okay, I get. Like, now they're literally like schizophrenic. Okay, here's the meme. It says climate justice, and here's what the petals say: racial equity, gender nonconformity, woman-led, fair labor, immigrant rights, I guess healthcare for all, language diversity. What does language diversity even mean? But how are they going to have two petals that say, I'm going to do a whole stream on this because it's hilarious. One of them says gender nonconformity, and then one of them says woman-led. First of all, what does that have to do with climate activism? Second of all, how can you have something that's led by a woman if you have gender nonconformity? It's like, I think the Ketanji Jackson Brown situation was like, not to be generic, I know everyone's talking about it, but it's like, literally it was like, believe all women, we need a black woman. And then she gets there and won't even define what a woman is. It's like, it's low hanging fruit as a joke, but it really is fascinating. Like, psychologically, I'm interested in like psychology analysis as well. People know I do that a lot here. It's like, it's like schizophrenia. It's like, we need a woman. And it's like, why though? Just pick the best person. No, that's how we're doing it anywhere. Okay, you need a woman. Okay. And then the woman gets there and then they're like, what's a woman? She's like, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. And it's like, you should be a biologist then, because you got picked because of your gender and race. I'm not saying you're not qualified. I'm just saying it's not like Joe Biden said, here, let me pick out of everybody, every gender, every race. He said, I'm going to pick a black woman. Here's the black woman I'm going to pick. What are you? I'm not a biologist. It's like, they're literally like schizophrenic. It's almost funny if they weren't like, being weirdos to kids and trying to like fact check, cover it up. It's like, fact check, we're not grooming. I mean, I guess it's not technically, but I don't know. What are you doing then? It's like Ron DeSantis is like, maybe like 6 is too young to teach sex to it. They're like, oh, don't say gay. It's like schizophrenia. Literally, you're like, here, stop teaching sex to 7-year-olds. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. You can disagree with it and say, here's why I think I should do it, but let's have a conversation about it. Don't say gay. And then it's like, what? It's like, what? And then everybody believes it. Like, Ron Perlman's like angry. He's like, don't say gay. How dare? It's like, it's not even the name of the bill, bro. They're straight up like schizophrenic. And I'm trying to bring the rainbow back. I just had this laying around and I felt like an island boy today. You know what I'm saying? I'm on my island vibe. So, this is God's rainbow. This is for the Irish. No offense to the L's, the G's, the P's, the T's, the Q's, the R's, the S, and the T's. But, God had the rainbow first, and then the Irish, successfully somehow stole it. I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but, I'm trying to bring it back to the Irish and God. It's just my preference. I'm not anti this or anti that. I just think we need to rebrand the rainbow because, once again, just going a little too far. First, they had the rainbow flag. There's literally like pictures because you have all these like wild, like far leftists, like it's never far enough. So they're like, let's add a letter. Let's add 7 letters. Let's add 7,000 letters. What's a letter? And then they like started adding new colors to the like rainbow. And then it literally just turned into like this disgusting blob of like 7,000 different like shades of colors. Like, I'm not even joking. It looks crazy. It's just like, just stop. You know what I'm saying? It's a great metaphor for what you're doing. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? You're ruining it. It's like you took a flag and then you like added so many colors that it just looked ugly. It's like it's like if like, the Mona Lisa, instead of like just like painting it, you're like, let's just throw colors on the Mona Lisa and just like cover the whole thing. It's like, I guess you could do that, but it's probably not as artistic. So pretty wild stuff, but that's the stream for today. I'm gonna hang out and put some of your comments on the stream. So, just letting you guys know, I'm not racist because I love Ketanji Jackson Brown, if that is how you pronounce her name. And if I didn't pronounce her name wrong, I will go to diversity training for years. I'll probably hire somebody, give them half my net worth to come and tell me how much, white people and Asians shouldn't work here or something, even though it's my business, pay a diversity trainer. He's like, there's too many white people here. It's like, it's my business. I'm the only one here. It's like, well, let's change that. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that because I need to learn. I need to learn my lesson for mispronouncing someone's name. I will learn. I will give all of my, BLM deserves it. They need new mansions, new end zone writings, right on the end zone. That's going to really defeat racism. The only way to defeat racism is to spend millions of dollars just writing words on people's jerseys. That'll really show those far fringe activists. I mean, these people are just, I'm not going to say the word because I'm going to get banned, but not very bright. Speaking of not very bright, Canada is now pushing this legislation to make, I guess, certain anti-Semitism like a criminal offense. I mean, it's already crazy in Canada, but they're pushing further to make certain anti-Semitic wording. I talk about it all the time. They're literally making it a criminal offense. In Germany, you could go to prison. There's actually a 90-year-old woman in prison. Look it up. In Germany for questioning history. But in general, they're like, we're doing this to stamp out anti-Semitism. And I'm like, as somebody who doesn't want there to be all this hate in the world, you're not going to stamp out hate by taking away speech. That's just not how it works. So if you were actually trying to like stop people from being anti-Semitic, you wouldn't be criminalizing speech because that's only going to make people more pissed off. And it's only going to make people think that that group of people is kind of running the show because, people that aren't in power don't have speech laws in their favor. You get what I'm saying? It's like if you have zero systemic power, you're not getting speech laws in your favor. It's the opposite. So it's doing literally nothing. It doesn't make someone a hateful person. Like they'll be like, you're a racist if you don't like Ketanji Jackson Brown. It's like, just stop lying. You don't believe that because if I show you 1,000 black women that I find intriguing, interesting, and smart, you're going to figure out a new thing to just say, oh, no, it's like, we know what you want. Just be real about it. You want people with that far left stance. You want people who would vote your way, think your way. That's what you want. I understand certain groups do it more than others on average, but you're not interested in like individuals and races. You're interested in, getting power. Just be real about it. The right is honest about it. We don't care who you are. Just vote for us. We don't care what color you are. Just vote for us. That's what the Republican Party says. The left is like, we care so deeply about it. No, you don't. We care about fighting anti-Semitism. No, you don't. You're making everything worse. You're doing like dumb stuff in every category. It's crazy. But let me know what you guys think. Someone said, Anomaly, what's going on with Putin? Well, I don't know. I mean, you gotta ask him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe follow him on Twitter or something. Does he have a Twitter? Maybe just call his number. You got his number. Just be like, yo, maybe he has like an Instagram. Maybe Putin has a Telegram. Maybe Putin has a speed dial. Maybe he has like a live chat. I don't know. I know they are like regime changing Pakistan. I mean, like ousting the leader or whatever that happened today. I don't know what's going on, but America and the West, if you don't play ball, they start getting really Gaddafi on you, if you know what I mean. They start getting really Bashir al-Assad on you, if you know what I mean. they start getting real Saddam Hussein on you, if you know what I mean. So I don't know what's going on in Pakistan. I'm not qualified to answer these questions. Someone said, play some of your new song. I'm going to put the whole thing on Facebook at a certain point, but I got to wait till it's on iTunes. For some reason, it's not on iTunes. Thank you guys for people saying that you like my song. Someone said Biden blocked the first black female SCOTUS during Bush Jr. Yeah, but that's like social justice. Like as long as you don't even think about history or question anything and you just listen to the Democratic media, then it's all fine. I'm sure that might have happened. I can't, I've heard rumors of that. I didn't look it up, but that's what you do though. You block black Supreme Court nominees that don't agree with you. And then you do it 20 years later and use the media to brainwash people into thinking that it's some sort of revolutionary act. I mean, that's just what you do. The only way to fight racism is to just lie all the time, apparently, according to Democrats. What's up with the interest rates? I don't know. Ask the chairman of the Federal Reserve. I'm not rich enough to answer that question. I don't know. I just pay taxes. They just steal my money every year and then like bomb kids in the Middle East or something. They're like, we need your money so we can make homelessness worse, use it against you, fund agencies that hate you, fund special interest groups that hate you, and then occasionally invade like 15 countries and then write op-eds about why Russia can't invade their neighbor when we've invaded 10 countries, not even close to us. I don't know. I don't know about interest rates. I don't know about taxes. I'm not qualified to answer that. I'm too poor. I gotta own the banks, and then I could tell you what. Just give me the banks, and then I'll be the new anomaly for Federal Reserve. My gosh, people are like, run for office. Anomaly, you should run for office. Like, okay, yeah, I'll decide. I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to run for the Federal Reserve chair. Oh my gosh, my whole life would be ruined. Are you kidding me? I would have 1,000 articles about me just saying the most messed up stuff. They would not like that. I mean, I'm not really poor, but I'm just saying I'm not rich enough to tell you what's going on with the interest rates. I'm not an economist, but I'm not in charge of the money. The people in charge of the money are passing speech laws, so you can't say they're in charge of the money. So, I'm not qualified to answer that question. What will be the final straw in deciding to relocate you in the state you live? That's a good question. I don't know. Only time will tell. So, for now, I'm just kind of playing it by ear. Here's my thing. Like, I guess because of my situation, etc., it hasn't gotten to the point where I really wanted to fully leave. I mean, close. I'm definitely close, but I don't know what the final straw would be. Only time will tell. Let's see. Oh, someone said a podcast with Klaus Schwab. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, I don't think he would take a podcast with me. I feel like I could maybe get a podcast with like Tulsi Gabbard or Thomas Massey, but Klaus Schwab, I highly doubt he wants to be on my podcast. That would be thrilling and frightening. He's like the new order of the world, cyber attack, COVID, communism. I mean, neoliberalism needs to die new order. COVID vaccine. We all have to work together. Okay. We need to work together to, with the cyber attack. Okay. It's going to be so much worse than COVID. Okay. That's a terrible impression, but it gets the job done. Someone said, hold on, let me get the super chat. I didn't mean to click that one, but Hankowitz said, love the new music and appreciate your excellent work. Much love, Anomaly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll upload it on Facebook. I don't know what's going on Facebook. I don't want to play the victim like, oh, I'm being shadow banned. I don't know. Maybe people aren't using it as much. Maybe they're targeting my page. Maybe people are looking at different content, but I used to get like 2,000 people minimum, and now I'm barely getting like 600-700 or less on Facebook. So I don't know. I might have to figure out what's going on here because I'm still grateful that there's 1,000 people here, but I used to be getting 5, 6, 4, 3. This is like the lowest it's ever been. And I have like 1.7 million people there. Now, playing the victim, but it's like if I got 1.7 million, I can only reach 1,000. Something's going on. on Instagram, I'm getting like 500,000 views on my reels. Maybe that's why maybe people are on Instagram, but I got to figure it out. Anomaly, I bought like 5 shirts. They're great, well made in the USA. I wear them to work and people love it. I appreciate it. I work hard on that. Someone said, no, we love you, Anomaly. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I'm going to like take my ball and leave. I'm always trying to figure out what's going on so I could actually reach people. But I have a podcast. It's on the bottom. If you see this real quick, new song, Ukraine flag in the bio, streaming now. Dreamweaver Podcast is out now. So, that's not monetizable really, but it is what it is. I don't care. I just want to get the message out there. So you can listen to Dreamweaver Podcast, patreon.com/rare talk for 2 secret podcasts if you want. Someone said, are you racist? Plural. No, listen, I'm not racist because I like Winsome Sears. I'm not racist because I think Andy No shouldn't be hit. I'm not racist because I eat Mexican food. I'm not racist because, I like, I watch the Masters and I don't just root for one race. I like Tiger Woods. That's how not racist I am. I want Tiger Woods to win. I mean, he's not going to this year, but I can't be a racist. Just like I can't be an anti-Semite. I like Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends. I like Adam Sandler movies. I like Mattis Yahoo. So am I racist? Fat chance. No, I'm just such a loving guy. I can't be a racist. I mean, I was on the Candace Owens show. Just that's how not racist I am. I liked Will Smith before he slapped Chris Rock, even though his kids are like inverted, doing their own thing. I still, wish them a healthy life. That's how not racist I am. Runson with the super chat said, when are you bringing Big Bear into the stream? Love your stuff. Keep it up. I definitely want to have Owen on my podcast. So I was thinking about that recently. So I will have him on the podcast and we'll chat again soon. So my podcast is definitely my space to talk to people because, I don't do very many interviews or like chats with people. Not because I don't want to. I don't know. I was doing my own thing and then I'm like, all right, I'll start doing more podcasts. And it's 2 things, get a podcast rolling, but it also gives me an excuse to have conversations with people. Someone said define racist. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Well, you spelled it wrong, but it's okay. Racist. So this is racist. This is racist. My wall's racist. Mario's racist because he's Italian. Luigi's racist. Peach is a white supremacist. That picture is racist because, white people go to that beach. That black square is racist because, I forgot to put in my profile picture for George Floyd. My light's racist. My hats are made in the USA and the United States was built on slavery. So that's racist. That chair's racist. I bought it at a store and there was a Hispanic woman working there, but the power structure dynamic of a Hispanic woman, a Caucasian, man with only a little bit of Hispanic, that was racist. So, Trump's racist, Biden's racist, Kamala Harris is right. Everything is racist. So hopefully that cleared it up because I know it gets confusing. Who's Mel K? I don't know. Any chance you'd have Mel K on your show? Was that the Spice Girl? Mel K? If you want to be my lover, you have got to give. Making life to do easy. Friendship never. Is that Mel K or am I tripping? I just remember the what was that called? The Spice Girls. Yeah, Posh Spice. You got it. Let's see. Someone said, "Oh my goodness, it's anywhere." Yeah, no, racism is literally everywhere. Like when I wake up in the morning, I dream about racists everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And then I wake up and then like I have like a sleep paralysis where there's just like racists in my room and I can't move. I fight racism every day, just like every breath, I'm fighting racism. So it's everywhere. It's all over the place. And if you've never thought about it as much as me, then you're probably the supremacist. So, it's really actually simple. If you think about it, there's nothing confusing about it. Here's my contribution to your work. Thank you, Savitar. I appreciate it so much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the super chats. I guess I should probably log into Facebook and try to see if I could see like the super chats. I'll do that today. I apologize. This new streaming platform, it's amazing, but it's also kind of, I won't say stressful because I'm not stressed out, but there's a lot of moving parts. You know what I'm saying? I could put a thing on the page. Like I'm trying not to mess up. I'm live and let's see how many people we got on. Yeah, 535. I don't care. I mean, God is great. That's still a lot. I value every person, but man, I got 1.7 million people on Facebook. I used to have 8 million people. I had 10,000 people for a stream, and then Facebook took away my streams. I'm not even kidding. So it's not even like, oh, I'm playing the victim, I'm shadow banned. Like, I had 10,000 people live on Facebook talking about Delta Airlines vaccine mandate, and then they cut my live streams for 2 weeks. I see what you're doing, Facebook. You hire a bunch of Democrat operatives, and you know who you are. Whatever, losers. Let me see if I can find I guess I'll have to go in the back end of Facebook or whatever. Now I get more people on YouTube, which never happened, but whatever. Let me see. Thanks for your time and energy. Hey, my pleasure. I apologize, Facebook. I got to do like a secret private live stream too. I've been so tired. Taxes. I'm doing taxes. I'm doing my song. I wear a lot of hats. I wish I had another hat here to put on top of my hat. You know what I'm saying, guys? You know, I wear a lot of hats. No, I'm just whatever. You get it. Anomaly, you should have Trekka Z back on. You guys create great content for sure, man. Trekka, he's hilarious. He's from Syria. I helped, like, you know, I had him on a lot. I always shared his videos, and then he got his like Facebook hacked or something. But I mean, he's still killing it on TikTok, Instagram. So I'd love to chat with him. All right, I'm gonna try to find out to see the Facebook super chats as well. I don't mean to only look at YouTube. I'm working on it, folks. Give me a second. Someone said I like the trucker hats. What? I don't know if they're really trucker hats, but I can't find trucker hats made in the US. My hats are more like dad hats, baseball hats. Someone said the StreamYard upgraded the stream. Well, it's not. Oh, you received your green hat. Oh no, where did it go? Thank you, Marla. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, let me see. Let me try to get to my live. Where is this thing? Creative tools, live dashboard. Okay, here it is. I'll try to find some. What is Facebook? It's just a place where you go sometimes. Whoa, Buddy Harrelson, you got like the creepy doll thing. You're scaring me with that guy. Let me try to find the Facebook ones. Let's see. I gotta learn how to do this. All right, I'm just gonna do a top star senders. Okay, I'm just giving some shout outs here. Diana, thank you. In the last 7 days, you're the #1 top star sender. Diana, I'm not gonna say your last name. I'm gonna try and put you guys on blast. Kamel, Tim, Steve, Ryan, Wanda, Jeff, Eugene, Lisa, Jordan, David, Scott, Andrew, Justin, Teresa, Lisa, Mike, William, Mary, Michael. If you've given me stars and you think it's you. Scott, Jimbo, Jay, Jimbo, you probably know who you are because there's not a lot of Jimbos. Boston, you know who you are. Deb, Daniel, Missy. Thank you guys for the stars on Facebook. It's just with all this going on, it's hard for me to see. Let's see. Someone said I only get YouTube notifications and I tune in for Facebook. Yeah, I have a Telegram chat. You know, I have 70,000 people in the Telegram. So that's what the Telegram's for. T.me/StreamRareChat. I mean, I'm not trying to hassle people because I know it's annoying. It's like some people don't like me that much. I don't blame them. It's like, you know, it is what it is. I'm just like a guy on YouTube. It's not like I'm like, you need to hear me all the time. Some people want to, but I don't do this stuff. Even like, you know, my Telegram. I'm not trying to annoy people like here every day. Like, you got to see my thing. You really don't have to. You don't have to watch me like once a week, never, whatever. But I really do it because I'm like, guys, if you don't, you know, this is the only way to T.me. I'm gonna type it in and put it on the screen. Dream Rare Chat. You know, I'm glad I have 70,000 people there. Not everyone checks it. That's fine, but you know, it's useful because it's like I could send a direct text to you and then you get my stream. It's annoying that I have to do this. I don't want to like hassle people, but. Let's see. Where's the T.me/DreamRareChat? Bang. Yeah, so I'll just put that up there. That's my Telegram. If you really want to see my live and you don't get notifications, I give a 1 to 5 minute warning on there every time I stream or almost every time I stream. So that's my best method. I'm working on it too. Like, you know, I'm always trying to figure out what the move is because here's what I'm thinking in my head. I want to be grateful. I want to be appreciative. I want to be present. I want to enjoy my life. I went to the beach yesterday. I played tennis today. You know, I'm always trying to have fun, but also I don't want to be lazy. I don't want to squander it. I want to strike while the iron's hot, not just to be like, you know, a money megalomaniac or something. But I mean, I don't know, you know, how long can I really do this? I work my ass off. It's not like the hardest thing. I've done way harder work, but you know, nothing lasts forever. I'm grateful. I hope I can make, you know, go down the paths I want to go and enjoy my life. But, you know, I don't want to be broke. I don't get health care. I employ myself. I, you know, have to pay taxes, etc. So I'm always trying to figure out, enjoy myself, appreciate the moment, and not get too big for my own britches. But at the same time, I don't want to be lazy. So that's a constant balance in my head of like, I want to capitalize on everything I have, but I don't want to like overdo it, Like I don't know. That's just how I think. Amanda said yes. This is it. All right, I'm gonna just take a sip. My coffee. Michael said, appreciate you, man. You're one of the few people I know that's telling the truth about the left and the right. God bless. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out real quick to the, they've been blowing up this week, but they're like college students at the Chicago Thinker is the name of them. They were on Tucker Carlson. I shared their viral video of them questioning Brian Stelter. To me, I love seeing other people do stuff. It's not like I'm a gatekeeper. I've helped, and I'm not doing it for credit, but I'm just saying I've helped lots of people's careers. When it's all said and done, some people will tell you anomaly when no one, Cernovich was like that to me. When I didn't have a lot of Twitter followers, I didn't even know Cernovich. Cernovich would always retweet me. Okay. And I never even really knew him. And he would do that because he saw something in me. And I appreciate Mike Cernovich for that because he saw something in me when no one else did. And he does that to a lot of people. A lot of people hate on Mike Cernovich. He's really a guy who will help people win for no reason besides he likes them, and I always do that as well when I was coming up. Like certain people, like if I saw a great message, I would amplify it. But I've been inspired, and I hope a lot of people are inspired by these college students at the Chicago Thinker asking Brian Stelter a question. I mean, to me, and Ben Shapiro, hey, shout out Ben Shapiro. I know we disagree on a lot, but he shared my tweet about this, and I'm grateful for that. These kids have done more, in my opinion, than any right-wing think tank has all year, just by showing up to an event and asking Brian Stelter a question. And Ben Shapiro shared my tweet, and I said they did it perfectly. Respectful, polite, at the same time, tough, great question. That alone did more than any right-wing think tank. So I just want to let people know, like myself, etc. I don't care if people like me or Shapiro or whoever. It's like, look at those kids. If that didn't inspire you, I don't know what will. You could make a bigger impact than multi-million-dollar think tanks if you just are there, if you just show up. You know what I'm saying? Do a street interview. Go to an event that there's Democrats or Republicans at, whether it be Governor Abbott or DeSantis or Trump or, Stelter. It's like the impact of just having a great question, right? Ask Dan Crenshaw, great question. That's what really made me realize the Republicans were a little sneaky when all these people started going to Charlie Kirk events, asking Charlie good questions. And he kind of had a little meltdown where it's like, it's wild, the cultural impact of just showing up and working hard. So, I think those kids are inspiring, those college students at the Chicago Thinker with one small college journal, and like ambition. These kids have shifted, right-wing culture over the last week just by showing up and asking a question. So, I hope people are like, you don't have to do all this stuff. You don't have to do anything, but it's like citizen journalism is at its highest peak ever. If you have a cell phone, you have the same technology as the New York Times. Yeah, they have better cameras, but at the same time, you don't even need it for TikTok and Instagram. So, I don't think everybody has to do like content, and that's like important. We need electricians, farmers, like these are more important for sure. But, it's like a lot of people are upset with culture, and it's like it's never been easier to make a splash, with no label, no manager, no any, I've been doing it independent for 7 years. I've got to play at Sturgis, one of the biggest festivals in 2020 when everything was locked down. Number 2 on the Billboard for sales with Bryson. These are things that I never would have thought were even possible, but you don't need that much anymore. You don't need a label. You don't need Fox News. You certainly don't need CNN. You don't need me, you don't need anyone. You don't need, that if you work for the Daily Wire, it would probably help, but you don't even need them. So someone said, what was the question? If you want to, I could play it again if you want, but the question was, do you want to see it? I'll just show you guys. Cause it's worth another look. He was on Tucker too, and he did a really good job. But the question was basically like, you say that Fox is like the fake news, but you've done a lot of fake news yourself. I'll just play the clip for you guys real quick. It's really, to me, this did more than most right-wing like think tank organizations. Just this act of being there, being polite, but having a fantastic question. I'll just play it.
Hi, thank you for coming. My name is Christopher Phillips. I'm a first year at the college. My question is for Mr. Stelter. You've all spoken extensively about Fox News being a purveyor of disinformation, but CNN is right up there with them. They pushed the Russian collusion hoax. They pushed the Jussie Smollett hoax. They smeared Justice Kavanaugh as a rapist, and they also smeared Nick Sandmann as a white supremacist. And yes, they dismissed the Hunter Biden laptop affair as pure Russian disinformation. With mainstream corporate journalists becoming little more than apologists and cheerleaders for the regime, is it time to finally declare that the canon of journalistic ethics is dead or no longer operative? All the mistakes of the mainstream media, and CNN in particular, seem to magically all go in one direction. Are we expected to believe that this is all just some sort of random coincidence, or is there something else behind it?
It's too bad. It's time for lunch.
You have 30 seconds.
No, I mean,
Brian.
there's a clock that says 30 seconds. But I think my honest answer to you, and I'll come over and talk in more detail after this, is that I think you're describing a different channel than the one that I watch. But I understand that that is a popular right-wing narrative about CNN. I think it's important when we talk about shared reality and democracy, all these networks, all these news outlets have to defend democracy. And when they screw up, admit it. But when Benjamin Hall, the Fox correspondent, was wounded in Ukraine, the news crews at CNN and the New York Times stopped what they were doing, and they tried to help. They tried to help him get out of the country. They tried to find the dead crew members. That's what news outlets do. That's how they actually do work together, to your question about sharing those kinds of connections and trust. We don't talk about it enough, though. We don't share that reality about how that happens. And with regards to the regime, I think you mean the President Biden. The last time I spoke with a Biden aide, we yelled at each other. So that's what...
All right, so that was the clip roughly for people who haven't seen it. And, that's what I was talking about. I mean, I think he had a bigger impact with that question than most right-wing groups. Like that, it was trending on Twitter just off of that. And I want to real quick, I just got the clip while I was, playing that. I want to show you him on Tucker because, I mean, I love this kid's attitude. And, he's a college freshman. I mean, if he can do it, if I can do it, a lot of people can do something where I think that's actually a successful strategy. Whether it was people, that were asking Charlie Kirk questions from the right-wing perspective during, that whole situation in 2019, that, people like Flecka's doing like interviews on the street. There's something that is very captivating and effective about asking questions, having conversations. But here's the clip of him on Tucker. I think he's a really smart guy. Check it out.
Popular right-wing narrative. Never trust anyone who uses the term narrative, by the way, just for the record. Christopher Phillips is the man you saw in that clip. He's a freshman at the University of Chicago. He joins us tonight. Mr. Phillips, thank you for joining us. What possessed you to confront these purveyors of disinformation?
Hi, Tucker. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor. The way I've always been is to search for truth and ask questions to, sift through the lies and find out what's really going on. So myself and two of my colleagues at the Chicago Thinker, the University of Chicago's premier publication, Evita Duffy and Daniel Schmidt, we three went to this conference and, we see right when we come in a ton of people, a ton of legacy media employees whose entire careers have been spreading disinformation. Those are the people who are telling us about how to avoid disinformation. So, I hear Brian Stelter, and he talks for 30 minutes about how Fox News is this huge purveyor of disinformation. They're the enemy of the people. And then I come up and I say, wait a second, run that back, because actually CNN, from what I've seen at least, is probably 10 times the purveyor of disinformation that you claim Fox News to be. And, he didn't really have a great answer for it.
Well, some of the examples that you threw at him, are subjective. I agreed with your take on it. But some of them were just objective. Like CNN did dismiss Hunter Biden's laptop as Russian disinformation. That kid's on camera doing it. Wouldn't it have been better if he would have said, "Yeah, I got that wrong. I'm sorry about that." Wouldn't that have worked?
Gosh, I mean, to tell you the truth, I didn't exactly expect him to hand over the keys and say, you know what, we're corrupt. Go ahead, Chris, and make CNN the truth. But I did kind of expect him to say, we retracted those stories and we apologize for saying that. And we always, keep a clean. We try to keep a clean record. But there was no apology. There was no remorse whatsoever. It's just, I don't know what news network you're talking about. That's not mine. When in reality, he said these things on CNN. It's all documented.
Yeah, it's hard to have credibility if you want to admit that you make a mistake ever. Everybody makes mistakes. We certainly have, but just admit it. So, what was the reaction from other students at Chicago to your question?
Well, there's a lot of social pressure to conform to the leftist narrative, to conform to the radical agenda at college campuses. So just working for the Chicago Thinker really is, kind of inviting you to be canceled in a sense. But a lot of people, I have to say, actually really liked my question. They thought it was fair. They thought it was honest, and it was pure journalism, and I respect everyone who told me that. Some people were not satisfied with it, but regardless, I think I did a good thing in asking Brian, what gives as to CNN's bias.
Yeah, and just touch reality once a day. Reassure us that you're not demented, but he didn't. Chris Phillips from University of Chicago, a credit to your generation. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Tucker. And everyone needs to check out thechicagothinker.com. Right now, we publish a lot of stuff on campus craziness. No one else is doing it like we are. So hit us on Twitter and Instagram as well. Hit me at ChrisPTheTruth for more.
I looked at it this morning. It's good. Chris Phillips, thank you.
It's impressive stuff, right, folks? I mean, he's inspiring. I love the fact, he's freshman, ambitious, that's all it really takes. So, regardless, even I want to say this. First of all, t.me/dreamer chat. If you ever want to see my live streams, clearly Facebook is not sending out notifications. I will send it out on Telegram. It's very helpful. I appreciate everybody there. But not hating changed my life. And I see a lot of people in the comments, like most people are awesome, and I don't want everyone to agree with me. It's not that, but I see people, even people that I ideologically agree with, they're chronic haters, and they just have negative energy where they're angry and upset all the time. And listen, I disagree with people all the time, but there's a certain energy to it where if you're always just being a hater, it doesn't make sense. Just figure out what you want to do, be passionate about it, and when you stop hating so much, you're able to do stuff. Where these kids, they're starting a publication, they're going to events, they're asking questions, they're in the game, they're putting themselves in the game. That's what it's all about. So whether you agree with me or other people or not, just really, stop being such a hater, and put your mind and your actions towards something and do it. And if you're as good as you think you are and you're persistent, people will like it. I believe in that. I think even in this world of rigging and etc., it's not going to stop you. It certainly hasn't stopped me. And I think that there is a certain power to authenticity in every community, whether it be yoga, this or that. Everybody's doing a lot of stuff, but if you really have the sauce, as they say, and you really got it, people are going to gravitate towards it. If you have a great question, if you word it right, you could change the whole right-wing culture in 5 seconds. It's crazy. There's never been a better time to have an impact. So, I think this kid's proved that, and I hope people are inspired by that for sure. Someone said hate makes you ugly. Yeah, it's just not, it doesn't work, in my opinion. There's some people that monetize their hate, I guess, but as somebody who did rap for a long time, I won't say I have really regrets. I'm grateful for my journey, but being a hater really set me back because I wasn't, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not focusing on your blessings. You're focusing on other people and hating it too much. The best thing you could do if you don't like something is block it out and just focus on what you like, or if you don't like it, craft something and explain it. But yeah, being a hater is just not ideal. Let's see. Someone said Rupert Murdoch owned media. No, definitely Fox and I think New York Post or Rupert Murdoch. But here's the thing: growing up, I thought to myself, Rupert Murdoch is the worst, and that's all they told you about. And in one sense, it's I'm not here going to shill for Murdoch Media or anything. He's definitely part of the, the top dogs like Fox News. They push the war agenda, they push this. But at the same time, I have to call it like I see it. If you ask me from New York Post and Fox, New York Post and Fox News, despite being Murdoch Media, have more cracks in the matrix. They have your Tucker Carlsons. They'll break stories that other people aren't breaking. I don't think they're perfect, but if you compare them to CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, I would say that their media is more free and less controlled. It's not completely free, but there's way more cracks in the matrix on Fox and the New York Post than there are on CNN and stuff. And that's not me being a partisan hack. I grew up thinking Murdoch was the number one worst thing in the world, where it's like they're clearly establishment, but as far as all the establishment medias, the other establishment medias, which control a lot more real estate, their dream would be to completely get rid of Rupert Murdoch media, and then it would be like a state monopoly. You'd have one. It would be like China or Canada, where you just have like, the liberals control everything. So despite being a little establishment, I think people like Tucker and Laura Ingraham are valuable, and I would hate to see them go anywhere, because they would not be replaced with me or something. They would be replaced with like another Don Lemon. They would be replaced with another Brian Stelter. So that would totally be terrible for America. So even though Fox is not the best, I'm still grateful that they're putting a wedge in the left narrative, because it's important. Even Trump, with all of his shortcomings that I disagree with in his late term, I thought he did a great job in the first 3 years. Him being separate from the media is good. It's a good thing. It's definitely good to not have them working in unison. It's just a shame what they did to him and what they did to our country, because they used him like a scapegoat and just destroyed our country, which was not great. But it's good to have some sort of wedge, because people, even in America, this is what I'm talking about being a hater. I don't even like Fox News. I don't watch it. I don't like the commercials. I don't like 80% of the hosts they have on there. I don't trust them. However, I'm still grateful for their existence, because you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's bad in America. It could be worse. Imagine there's no Tucker Carlson. There's no Laura Ingraham. All you have is a bunch of Don Lemons, Pete Buttigieg's, Brian Stelters, the same thing. There's a reason Fox News is number one in ratings. There's a reason Tucker's number one in ratings. He's the best on television. You don't have to like him. You don't have to trust him. He's the best. It's not even close. Second's not even close. Laura's okay. Sean Hannity's entertaining, but a warmonger. But it's like, people, it's like the only even ounce of reality on the media is on Fox. You're not going to find it on CNN. They are literally Looney Tunes. So, as bad as it is in America, it could be worse. It could be like Canada. It could be like China. It could be like, other countries that don't have really competing ideologies. It's like far left and regular left, and they control all the media. So, even with Fox, I think people are right to call them out as a network, but, be careful what you wish for, because if Fox completely disintegrated and like New York Post, disintegrated or disintegrated rather, it would not be for the best, at this point. Maybe like 20 years ago, it would have been different, but now, that's not, it wouldn't work, in my opinion. Let's see. You trying to sing? Imagine all the people. Let's see. Someone said, as far as Trump, I think he's all right going down to business and stuff like that. I have something funny to share. Like he endorsed Dr. Oz today, and a lot of his supporters are upset, because I think like MAGA and like a lot of conservatives don't trust Dr. Oz. I haven't fully looked into it, and I have to be honest, like somebody in my family has met Dr. Oz. not going to get into the details. It's not like backdoor deals. I'm not like a lobbyist, but I'm just saying, like on the television show, they said he was a nice guy. He's been nice to people that I know. So, I would say, one, I don't vote in Pennsylvania, so it doesn't even matter. But, from people that I know him, they say he's super nice and super genuine as a person. As a politician, it's totally different. So, I guess people really don't trust him. I forget the reasons, but, a lot of MAGA is really upset with Trump endorsing Dr. Oz. And I just find it hilarious, because Trump has done this like 100 times in the last year. He'll endorse somebody that people hate. He'll endorse somebody that doesn't like him. He'll endorse a neocon. And every time MAGA Twitter is like, oh my God, I can't believe. It's like, what part of 2021, vaccine sale toward Trump did you not understand? It's like, at this point, it's just like people are like genuinely like, I can't believe he did that. It's like, I don't know. At what point are people honest with themselves and be like, okay, he's not me. He doesn't do everything I want him to do, and that's okay. But people are always like, I can't believe he did that. It's like, what part of the last 100 things he did did you not get? What part of his Moderna, Pfizer, J&J tour didn't you register that he's not who you thought he was? I don't know. It's like this constant game of someone said Dr. Oz is anti-Second Amendment and a Turkish citizen. I guess I haven't seen this stuff, and I'm not downplaying it because of the Dr. Oz thing. I genuinely just haven't been interested enough to look into it. Is he anti-Second Amendment? I get a lot of people don't think he's a real conservative. I saw Jack Posobiec say he doesn't think he lives in Pennsylvania. What are the other reasons that people don't trust Dr. Oz? Someone said they don't trust Dr. Oz due to his association with Oprah. Yeah, I'm not like I don't play dumb. If I know something, I'll tell you. I genuinely like haven't really fully investigated why MAGA is so upset with Dr. Oz, because I know he's running as a Republican, and people in the Republican Party, some people are like skeptical that he really is a Republican. I think that's kind of the gist of it. Someone said, I don't think he has the best judgment in people. Yeah, I mean, I think Trump is just a good businessman. He's a good politician, and people want to think that he's like more outside the system than he really is. He's definitely more outside the system than Biden, but I don't know. I think people need to take the hint. Let me see. Someone said can't find Chris on IG. Well, his IG name is different than his Twitter. I messaged him because I asked Chris, the kid from the Tucker video, I asked him if he wanted credit because he had a small Instagram. So I was like, do you want your name out there? I just wanted to make sure he did before I did it. Someone said he's like Mitt Romney. Hopefully he's a little better. Mitt Romney's like bottom of the barrel. Like as far as Republicans go, I feel like he's like the worst. Like I would say he's probably right. Mitt Romney, the number one worst Republican, like the least, like he's a Democrat. Like there's some other Republicans that are just bad Republicans. And like Mitt Romney doesn't do anything Republican anymore. It's pretty wild. Let's see. Tell me why people don't like Dr. Oz. Like I'm trying, like in the Republican Party, he supports CRT. I can't really push back on any of this because I don't know enough about it. I'm going to put some of your things. Someone said he questioned the effectiveness of the V. Last time I remember, he spoke out about personal health. Romney is insufferable. Someone said Liz Cheney sucks. Agreed. Let's see. Someone said Romney's the worst. Yeah, for sure. He's just like, I mean, there's some people like Dan Crenshaw that like, I don't trust Dan Crenshaw at all, but like he'll vote conservative like 50% of the time, maybe like 70% of the time. He'll just go the difference on like First Amendment, Second Amendment. I don't personally like Dan Crenshaw or trust him, but he actually like somewhat is conservative, but not really. Like Mitt Romney just is not even like, does he even vote? Like everything that every other Republican votes one way on, he votes the other way. Like he's got to be the worst in the whole party. Crenshaw's a little sneakier. He's definitely got some conservative values, but like Mitt Romney's just a total shill. I almost said a different word. Would have got me banned. Someone said even Joe Manchin believes in CRT. Is that true? I mean, I can't really push back because I don't know. Do a reaction video to your new song right now, live. Not right now. Let me see. Can we hear the new song lyrics? I might make a lyric video for it because I rap so fast people can't hear the song, but I'll probably play it. I'm going to do an Instagram live later and play it on Instagram live, but I'm going to upload the video on Facebook, and I will do a lyrics video on YouTube. And I was even thinking about doing a video like behind the scenes explaining the lyrics because it's such a fast song. Kelly, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. Someone said, I wanted to get this one on. This seemed like a good comment. John said, I think most Republicans start out okay, but then the greed gets to them. It's a crazy world. Like, I can't tell you everything about that because I'm not like a system guy. I do my own thing. And I think that's why I don't have as many opportunities. I don't care. I don't need anything. I'm just saying like, I'm clearly like just not, I don't bend the knee at all. But I think when you get into politics, from what I've seen in media and stuff, it's just like, they're looking for certain types of people sometimes. So it's like, if you're too out, there's certain topics that even in the Republican Party, if you talk about it, they don't want you there, and I don't know what the reason is for that. I think, maybe like donors, right wingers have donors too. So I don't know if there's certain topics that donors just say, hey, like, yeah, that guy's not going to work. And you get there and you get more attention and you get fame and you go to meetings and, it's a whole lifestyle. I mean, politics is it's a sneaky industry. I mean, it's like you go there and you just kind of like, start talking like this. I don't, I don't get it really. I really don't. It's like, I am a politician. Like Pete Buttigieg is like, what do you mean? But it's like, it's like, do you really talk like that? Maybe he does. I have a video of Pete Buttigieg and Charlemagne. I want to find it real quick where it's like, he just talks like a politician. I'm like, why do they talk like that? I just don't understand, like what they're doing. But at the same time, whatever. I found the clip here. This is crazy. This platform I use, I could download this clip and then I could re-upload it like within 20 seconds. I love this thing because before I'm like explaining it, I have my like laptop, the light shining on my laptop. My laptop was always clean, but my light would shine on it and make it look dirty because it's like with weird lighting. I was like, I'm not a dirty person, but like the lighting always screwed it up. Like, listen to how Pete Buttigieg, talks. I don't know. Is this really how he talks? Like, is before he got into politics? Like, you're like, yeah, I'm just Pete. He probably was like, yo, what's up on Pete? And now he's like, I talk like this now because I am a politician. It's like, why? I don't get it. All right, here's the clip of Skeet Buttigieg. Here's Skeet Buttigieg.
You do realize, Pete, a lot of black people feel like Democrats have kept no promises since they've been in office.
Really?
Yes. Reverend Allen said that a million times. I'm sure he'll be pressing you about that tomorrow.
Look, I get it because the work is not done. But the reason I say really is we just passed one of the biggest pieces of infrastructure legislation in American history. It was a promise, and it wasn't just a promise that the Biden-Harris administration made or that us Democrats made in 2020. This is a promise that every president and every Congress has made in some way, shape, or form for as long as I've been an adult. And we actually did it.
But those are big, broad things, and that's great.
I don't know. He's like, every politician has always done that. It's like, dude, it always just sounds like they're selling you something, you know? Someone said Trump always endorses the wrong people. Nobody listens to me. I mean, less people listen to me now because I don't even have as many viewers. But he's just not who people think he is. It doesn't mean he's like the worst person ever. But like everybody like thinks he's someone he's not. Trump is not who MAGA thinks he is. So he's not endorsing the wrong people. He's just not who people think he is. Like, you know, he took his worst accomplishment, the worst thing he did in his thing, and he thinks it's the best thing. It's like satanic inversion. He did 100 amazing things. Instead of like railing on I talked about the media, I did this, I did that. He did a lot of good things. He focuses on for a whole year when America needs a leader, we're under lockdown, we're getting, in my opinion, enslaved. And he runs around the country saying the worst thing he did was the best thing he did. And he saved 100 million lives doing it. To me, that's satanic, but people I don't know. They don't want to hear it. So whatever. It's like, yeah. Oh my God. Whoa. Like you're like, oh my gosh, he did it again. I can't believe it. Trump, what's going on? You picked the rhino. It's like, he's not who people think he is. And people are going to find out the hard way, but whatever. I mean, I might get in trouble for putting this on the live stream, but Mr. Boston said Trump is a Zionist Trojan horse. That's completely accurate. That's exactly what he is, but people aren't ready for that. And in my opinion, people will say, well, what do you have? You must have a problem with that country. Then it's deeper than that. It's not like I actually like Israelis a lot. And I think Israel has the right to do what it wants. Who am I to tell Israel what to do? Like I run the world. Oh, don't do that. You can do what you want. You can fight for your country. That's cool. But Zionism in other countries, it's not like, oh, it's just a foreign country thing. They pass speech laws, they turn on America, your country gets subverted, you can't speak out against it. And then it becomes this huge issue where it's like, you know, it's not like one thing, like I disagree with a foreign country. It's like these people in the Republican Party that prioritize that over me, they will sell out the Constitution, they will turn their back on us. You know, it's become a whole thing where it's like, it's just deeper than just like a foreign policy. It's like it's completely intertwined with American politics and it's affecting our country greatly, but people aren't ready for that conversation. So, you know, it's just like MAGA doesn't want to hear it. So they're just going to keep getting fooled and duped and think they can't figure out why. There's multiple reasons why, but it's like big pharma, for instance, like, okay, the Democratic Party is more sold out than the right wing. It's very clear. However, big pharma still lobbies both sides of politics. Trump took money from big pharma. It's just a fact. you know, he took $1 million from Pfizer for his inauguration. That's a lot of money. You know, $1 million. How many people here have $1 million? Probably not that many. Trump got more money than you even own for his inauguration from Pfizer. And then all of a sudden he miraculously turns into this from a vaccine skeptic that Donald Trump was to a massive Pfizer salesman for a new experimental product that they have no liability for through something he signed. Like, people can't add this up. It's like, come on, it doesn't make, you know, Biden's more sold out, but this, like, people are like, what's going on? It's like, he's just not who people think he is, but whatever. Let's see. Someone said Anomaly is wise for his age. I appreciate it. Thank you. Someone said 1 million is just a small loan. I mean, it's small to $1 billion company or a billionaire, but really, it's not really small when you run for office. If you go to like a Trump Jr. event or a Trump event, you know, you can pay to talk to like Don Jr. Like, if you have, I don't know what it is, 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand. I don't know what it is because I don't really go to these things. It's not worth my money / I have no interest in it. You can talk to Don Jr. You could talk to Donald Trump. It's all a money game, you know? So is it small? Kind of, but not in politics. I mean, $1 million donation is actually pretty big in politics. So like, if you could get to talk to Don Jr. for 10,000 or 5,000 or 15,000, what do you think $1 million gets you? You don't think that gets you a sit down meeting? You don't think that gets you some sort of handshake agreement? $1 million? You think Donald Trump's forking over his own money for everything? Of course not. People are funding him. Why do you think you get emails all the time? I hit a hole in one. Here's a hole in one commemorative bobblehead for $1,000. Patriots 15 points, give me $100. He's always begging for money in my emails every day. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just Donald Trump doesn't want to use his own money for his campaign. So people fund him in MAGA and big business funds him. You know, it's like a combination, but I would say he takes more from that. But, you know, $1 million is not a small amount. It's in politics. $1 million gets you a meeting. $1 million gets you a handshake. $1 million gets you something. You don't just give $1 million to Donald Trump being like, here's $1 million. Just, you know, turn on me. You know, here's $1 million. Just hate, you know, ruin my big pharma operation. No, here's $1 million. When that time comes, you know, you're going to be on my side, aren't you? And guess where Donald Trump was? On their side. Push, you know, he did more for Pfizer and Moderna in 2021 than he did for his own base. So at this point, if you still think like he's going to save you, I mean, you're the same, in my opinion, as a left-wing black group that thinks that Ketanji Jackson Brown is a huge win for the black community. Like, it's the same thing. You know, MAGA thinking Trump is going to fight the deep state when he literally became them. It's like, I don't know. He's better than Biden. Life's not perfect, but he's clearly not who I thought he was. He's clearly not who you thought he was. So why keep pretending? I guess that's why the QAnon movement got so big. You know, some parts of it were true. Not everything was wrong, but what was wrong was the gist of it was like, Donald Trump is our savior. You know, that's why that became the biggest movement in right-wing politics. Why did that blow up so much? Because it was taking this guy who clearly wasn't doing as much as everyone thought and made him into this mystical hero character that had this secret plan that only you could see if you close your eyes and hallucinate. You know, it's like, it was like this like cope, you know, it was a big cope. Like, we know pedophiles exist, true. You know, we know they're bad, true. So Donald Trump is Nikola Tesla's grandson coming through a space machine, time traveling to save the world, false. You know, it's a big cope. That's why that became so big, because he didn't actually do what people thought he was going to do. So, you know, either you admit to yourself and tell the truth and say, hey, I would still vote for him over Biden. You know, he's still the best president in my lifetime. He's still the realest one. And I'm grateful for some things he did, but he's clearly not who I thought he was. He clearly is kind of compromised. He clearly is kind of a sellout. He clearly is kind of a bad person, you know. Or you could just say, actually, you know, I'm going to ignore reality and just tell secret messages like on a Ouija board. And it's like, you know, those are like the two routes people go. So it is what it is. But I mean, at this point, I've said my piece. I don't really care what people think. It is what it is, you know, but that's what I think. Someone said, what's my horoscope? Are we really going there? You want to know? Let me guess. You want to know my birth chart? You want to know my moon sign? You know, let's not get too personal on it, but I appreciate it. Someone said, Jesus rules. I agree. Swag. Vern, appreciate the comment. Someone said, Trunk's ego's bigger than ever. I honestly think so. I think like when I listen to him talk now, I don't think he's concerned about the people or the mandate agenda. Like, if you listen to him talk, it's like me, I did it, I saved the world, blah, 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 freedom, but whatever. It's like he's probably more concerned with the fact that people like DeSantis more than him now. Like, it bothers him more than like lockdowns, you know? Trump has like massive character flaws. Like, it is what it is. I mean, he's hilarious, but leadership wise, like, he's going to bring MAGA to hell. And I'm not saying like literally, but like metaphorically, like, he's going to promise you the world, put on his little clown show, and then you're going to end up in a terrible position. You're going to wonder why. It's the same reason why black left-wingers continuously get duped and fooled. You can't make fun of the left if you're going to fall for the right-wing, you know, similar version of it. But whatever. I've said, you know, people don't want to listen, so I don't care. Let's see. Someone said, I like the fact that he doesn't like to lose and he's exposing evil. Hey, I think that's totally valid. I think both of those things are true. I think he doesn't like to lose, and I think he has exposed a lot of evil. I think that's fair. I mean, you know, in American politics, I mean, you know, it's slim pickings. So that's probably the best you can get. So I get it. Voting wise, I understand. I guess it's just like this whole movement. Like, for example, with those kids from the Chicago Thinker, they shifted politics by being present, right? Being respectful, but at the same time being blunt, going somewhere and doing something. Even though they're a college student, they shifted culture. So I feel like that's what I really want out of MAGA and the right-wing movement. Do not be spectators. Do not, I mean, I'm not saying you have to go somewhere and do something, but like, you know, if everybody's just like sitting and waiting for this, it's like, just treat Trump like he is. You know, he's hilarious. He's almost 80. He's getting older, whether you want to admit it or not. He's losing it a little bit. Clearly not as bad as Joe Biden, but Trump's getting pretty old. He's not Trump from 2016. People will figure that out. He, you know, totally caved to Big Pharma, totally caved to Fauci, kind of plays to both fence, is a little bit of a Trojan horse for scammy stuff, but at the same time, exposes evil, calls out the media, clearly is hated by these people, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. You know, he's a better option than Biden. If people treat it like that, I think it's fine. But if people are like, oh my gosh, he's going to do all these things, he's going to save us, he really cares, it's like he doesn't care. But, you know, if it is, I just hope people don't become so emotional, ride his coattails for 4 years, let him do dumb stuff and not question it. And then we end up in a lockdown again. And people are like, oh, Don Jr. is going to come to save us. Like, maybe, but probably not. Let's see. Someone said, no, Anami's a Libra. I've said it before. I'm a Libra. So yeah, I'm not a Virgo, a Libra. Someone said our best hope is term limits. I don't know though. I don't know if term limits would really solve the problem, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. You know, Nancy Pelosi, but I don't know though. I don't know. People that are good, like I think I don't think it would help as much as people think, but it probably wouldn't hurt. I don't know. Let me see. Someone said, literally, Elon Musk just suggested converting Twitter's San Francisco headquarters to homeless shelter since no one shows up anyway, asking people their opinion. 97% of people agree. Wait, let me see. Elon is hilarious. You know, he's another one a lot of people like, and then some people don't trust, but he's really funny. He said, convert Twitter San Francisco headquarters to a homeless shelter since nobody shows up anyway, yes or no? That's really funny. He's funny. He's, you know, he's been crushing it. Let's see. Have I seen the lockdown robotic dog running in the streets of China terrorizing people? No, but the Shanghai lockdown is real. The China lockdown is real. China, no offense, but godless, I mean, much offense, I guess, but godless communism does not work. Like, China has a great history too. They have a great philosophy. Like, ancient Chinese people are epic. Like Confucius, epic. Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu, epic. Like, that's one of my favorite books ever, is the Tao Te Ching. I talk about it all the time. How did they turn out like this? It's like America turning out like this. Like, Thomas Jefferson did not want this. You know, this is garbage compared to what they were writing. And I'm not saying they're perfect, the founding fathers, but it's like their idea of liberty versus what we have now. It's not, I don't know what's going on. big government, I guess, corruption, the people got to get the spirit. We got to reverse this. China has to go back to like epic Confucius stuff, not this like godless communist lockdown, like robot dogs. How do people not know that they're on the wrong side? Like the left wingers, they're like, this is for my health with the Ukraine flag and the lockdowns. Like, you were the evil person in this movie. How do you not realize it? Like, you're supporting robotic dogs, like terrorizing people and they can't leave the house. You think you're the good person in this story? Like, are you dumb? Are you brain? Like, what are people thinking? Here's what I think. I don't think people are thinking, and I think most people are not, that far left. I think most people are just lazy, oblivious, watching basic culture stuff and not even realizing it. Because when I talk to people that don't really have a stance, most people are not tuned into politics. So it's not even like they have this big stance. They just tend to think like the Republican Party's worse. This is how I was when I was a kid. I never liked the Democrats, but I always thought the Republican Party was worse. They probably could get me to like vote for Obama or something. I'm not this big Obama Democrat fan, but it's like they probably could make me think that the right-wing guy is like a little bit worse. And that's just what they do. So I think most people are just on autopilot. They're not these radical psycho left-wing activists. They're just not really realizing what's going on. That's why the polls are so in favor of the Republicans, because the more they infringe on how could you not realize at this point, It's not 2006 with Obama. It's like, you can't leave the house. Shouldn't you start paying a little bit of attention? And I hate to like revel in all of this wickedness because I think it's terrible, but you have to admit, I know a lot of people here, some people just, woke up in the last couple of years. Some people have been into conspiracy theories for 10 years or whatever, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. I don't know how old you are, but it is almost in a weird way, a little bit satisfying, because when I was in high school and college, I knew something was wrong. And I was like, how come nobody cares about this? The media, like I loved when Trump talked about the media. That's like my favorite part. He's right. I always thought that way since I was in high school. I was like, the media controls everything. These 5 corporations control everything. They're brainwashing people. I knew about brainwashing and then Trump starts talking about it. That was amazing. However, it's like, the point I'm getting to is it's almost satisfying because I'm thinking, everybody's like, you're crazy, shut up. But like, it's like the Bill Coopers of the world where they're like trying to warn people and no one cares. But it's like, I'm not trying to be irrational. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. Like, I rapped, I went to parties. I wasn't just like sitting there. I had fun, but I was like, guys, if we don't address what's going on, we're going to end up in a camp. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, that's crazy. And then we ended up locked in our houses. So it's like, in a weird way, as terrible as it was almost like satisfying for people who saw this coming for 10 years. Like, if you just think you're going to walk to work and ignore all this stuff and everybody's just going to vote the wrong way or not think about this stuff, like, we're going to end up in a lockdown prison situation. And we really kind of did. And now China's like literally being imprisoned in their own houses. They can't even go out to get food right now. They're straight up like prisoners and slaves to the state. I mean, I hate to be like, we told you so, because it's kind of a douchey thing to do, but like, we did tell you. I know people that have known about this for a while. It's like, it's not good that it's happening, but it's like, we told you this was happening and now it's in your face, and now they're coming for your kids, and now they're treating your kids like an animal, and now you care, don't you? But like, you care a little more, please, because I don't want people to stress out about it, but like, we're not going to last for very long like this if we don't wake up. And I believe, as much as I would say critique the right wing for being fake sometimes, I believe, and I don't even believe it's Trump, although he helped revitalize it, or the Republican Party. I believe it's the culture and conservative culture, right-wing culture. There's some left-wing progressives who get it, but for the most part, if there was no right-wing culture in America, if we didn't have this American energy, this flag energy, this patriot energy, this First, Second Amendment energy, if we had right-wingers replaced with a bunch of CNN watching robots, this country would be under a Chinese-style lockdown. People would be getting arrested for not getting the vaccine. I believe that. So it's like, I'm grateful for people that are combating the narrative, even if they hate me, even if they follow things I don't believe, even if they're like, I like Trump more than you, whatever. As long as you stand up for this country, I don't care. That hate me, disagree with me, I still appreciate you, because this country would be like China if it were all Democrats. This country would be like China if there was no Republican opposition. I believe that. So, I'm still grateful for people that don't like what I say, because it's like, we would be like that without so many people paying attention. So, everybody paying attention, everybody awake, to some extent, whether you agree with me or not, I appreciate it, because I'm glad we're not Canada. I'm glad we're not Australia. I'm glad we're not China. And we absolutely, in my perspective, would be without all of this right-wing culture baked into our country and conservative people that although may get fooled on time and time occasion, including myself, know that this is too far. Someone said, stay united, fam. What's that? Jay Rara said, great point. I agree. Appreciate it. There's actually a lot of like left-wing like socialists that are actually like totally right about Ukraine and vaccines. It's pretty crazy. I totally think they're wrong about big government at this point, but I even appreciate them. There's a lot of socialists being like, this Ukraine war is not what you think it is. I'm like, because they're like actual left-wingers that are like far left, but they're not like far left CNN watchers. They're like far left, like they know the Democratic Party is a joke. And in a weird way, even though their domestic policy is trash and they're a little brainwashed, they still actually are seeing through this stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I see a lot of socialist accounts being like, the war in Ukraine is not what you think it is. I'm like, dope. That's good. That's good to see that. Let me see. All right, this person's having like a meltdown. Someone's saying I am Trump or something. But your name is not Trump though. I thought you were on Anomaly. What are you saying? And then, no, I don't know. You think I'm a Trump? Am I a secret Trumper? Am I a secret Trump family member? I'm a Don Jr.'s son. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, but it's okay. Someone's just putting up a bunch of flags. I don't know what that means. But yes, I support the current thing. I support your flag. I support all flags except for, flags I don't like. Someone said, I think more Western countries will take pattern from China. Look at Australia, Canadian, Austrian, French governments treated their unvaccinated. I think you're right because China's different from the West, but the intersectionality in the Venn diagram is godless communism. Godless communism. They don't believe in God. They clearly don't believe in like God-given rights and freedom and liberty. And they believe in big government intervention. Any godless communist country is going to end up in a bad place, whether it's global communism or Chinese communism. It's just at this point, you have to understand, unless your leader is like super moral, it doesn't work. And honestly, at this point, like I get why people think communism might work, but you would literally need like Jesus Christ to run the country. That's the only way it would work, where it's like you have this moral leader and he's like, everybody will live. But it doesn't really work because like communists, I'm reading the book, they don't like competition. They don't like innovation. I'm a competitive person. I mean, I might seem nice, but like when I play sports, I want to win. I'm not mean. I don't like hit people or stuff, but that's what drives me. If I wasn't competitive, I wouldn't be good at sports. So competition breeds innovation. I'm not like with work and stuff. I'm always competing against myself, right? I have a great work ethic. I'm not like, I need to do. I'm doing news and trying to awaken people, etc. So I'm not like trying to like bash other people and like I want to be the biggest. That's not what I'm. But I am competing against myself. Like I got to do better. I got to upgrade. I always want to see progress. And so like the communist idea of like non-competition is just dumb. I don't understand it. Like if you were trying to share everything, I get that. But like you're also trying to like take away greatness, which is dumb. And you can't, there's this old saying, you could give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you could teach a man to fish and you could feed him for his entire life. That's one of my favorite quotes because it's so true. You can give a homeless person a fish or a man a fish, but that's not really being nice. Being nice is teaching them how to fish, and then they could and they could feed themselves for an entire lifetime. But here's the thing. Some people don't want to fish, some people are lazy. Some people don't want to do it. And you can't just bend over all society for people who don't want to do it. You just can't. So you could teach people how to fish. You could be kinder. You could help people out. But at the end of the day, you have to really like go for it. And, I look at my past and stuff, and I used to think about certain things I didn't have. I'm actually really grateful the way things worked out because I never felt like I had something to fall back on. I never really got help from my parents. I mean, they help with little things, like they're not bad parents, but like I didn't feel like that comfortable at home. I was like, go get a job, go here. Like I had like meetings and stuff, and like they weren't really involved. And I'm not even mad at them for that. I feel like they didn't baby me. You know what I'm saying? If they would have babied me, I'd probably be a loser. So like they like didn't baby me to the opposite extent. They did some nice things, but I don't look at that like, oh, they could have helped me more. I'm glad they never sent me $1 when I moved to Los Angeles. Like, I'm glad they didn't know what was going on. Like, it made me realize I got to bust my ass or I'm not going to make it. So this, communism is like, let's baby everybody, no competition. Like, yeah, that's going to destroy society, so communism sucks, but godless communism is even worse. Like, God, and then you have like nationalist communists like China. And then you have like anti-nationalist communists like the whole West, which is just like global. They're like diversity of languages. What does that even mean? Diversity of language means like all languages everywhere. It doesn't mean like, let's make up a new language with all the words. Like, yeah, let's just jumble everything together. 1 + 1 is 1,000,000. The gender bender. I'm a gender fender bender. I'm a guy. I'm a girl. I mean, it's like these people are annoying me so much. I might just join the WNBA. I'm serious. I love basketball. I always wanted to play. I mean, I never had dreams of being in the NBA. Maybe I wanted to be a pro soccer player, but then I got lazy and started rapping. Anyway, I want to be in the WNBA. I think I could. Oh, Nominee, you're not that good at basketball. I think I am. Let's find out. I might try out for the WNBA. Seriously, when's the tryouts? Actually, I'm gonna Google it right now. I'm not even joking. I'm gonna, put my hair down, let them call me a girl, which is transphobic, and I'm gonna ball on these females. When's the WNBA tryout? I'm not even playing. I'm going. So whenever there's tryouts in Los Angeles or somewhere, I'm going. And let's see what they say. Oh, you can't go. You're a guy. Oh, really? Do you want to go to jail? Oh, Kentaji Jackson Brown thinks I might be. She doesn't know. So let's see. WNBA tryouts. I'm looking out right now. It's like these people are just so WNBA tryouts. I'll be there. So it'll be fun. Let's see if I have what it takes to join the big girls. Huh? I think I can. I could dunk. I could ball. I could ball. I'm pretty nice. I mean, they probably box out though. I don't know. There's probably some jack girls out there. Too jack for the gulag. Let's see. Sparks open tryout. That sounds fun. Let's see. May 2nd. Wow. That's not that far from now. Los Angeles. Perfect. Good drive there. Well, see you guys there. See you, Sparks. That'll be fun. See you guys at the tryouts. Cool. Let me save this web channel. WNBA open tryouts. Dope. 2022. Let's go. Let's get it. Film crew. Be a good time. Oh, it's going to be vlogged for sure. No, I'm doing it. Let's see if I'm good enough. I mean, seriously though, where do you draw the line? You can't draw the line. So, I want money. Someone said, wear some shorty shorts and a sports bra. No, I'm coming right like this, I'm not taking hormone blockers. I'm not dressing up. This is just who I am. We're seeing how far the line really goes. Someone said you won't even need to shave. Oh, I'm not changing a thing about me. Oh, I'm going to change how I look for the patriarchy. Now I might tie my hair up or something, but I'm not changing who I am just to please the patriarchy. I'm going just like this. I'm talking like this. I'm a woman, and if they don't let me in, we'll see what happens. So that's what they get. And they'll ask me, like, what's your proof? And I'll be like, oh, you need proof now? My proof is I heard the Shania Twain song and I felt it, man, I feel like a woman. I heard it and I was like, yeah, that inspired me. That's what inspired me, Shania Twain. So, yep, Shania Twain inspired me to be here, and I'm going to be making a huge scene. I mean, how has a biologically born man not been in the NBA yet? How has that not happened yet? Seriously. It's BLM, we're all for women. Okay, well, let the big boys in, right? Let the boys in town. Now let's see how you're pro-black, you're pro-women. Now there's going to be a lot of black women unemployed, okay? Because you guys can't figure it out. It's like Black Lives Matter. They're like, okay, Kyrie Irving, thanks for being here. Put a mask on and leave the stadium. He's like, but Black Lives Matter. They're like, yeah, on your shirt, not in real life, dummy. Leave the stadium, You anti-vaxxer. And he's like, I'm a jacked man who just wants to play basketball. I'm like one of the best basketball players in recent history. They're like, yeah, tell us outside the stadium. It's like, wow, cool shirts though. Really cool. I mean, you guys look like a bunch of little puppets. Like, it's like stamp out racism. Oh man, dude, I heard that like 1,000 KKK members that don't barely exist anymore. I heard they watched the channel, saw your shirt, and just magically decided to not be racist or whatever. Like dope shirts, you're really stamping out racism. It's crazy. Like the most racist people tuned in, saw it, and just put their cone head robes to the side and said, you know what, this does it. I mean, after being being pro-white and anti-black for 50 years, who would have known that all it took was like a bunch of NBA players wearing shirt slogans to really like stamp out my hatred. It's really effective. Adam Silver, good job, dude. You're totally stamping out racism. You're good, dude. You're nailing it. You're crushing. So, I support that. BLM needs mansions. How else are you going to defeat racism without more, massive houses? I mean, if you're doing that much social justice, you deserve a pool, in my opinion. I mean it. I think they do deserve pools. Let's see. Where are we at? I want to see this. Hold on. All right. James said, you were saying valid points. Trump showed conservatives to speak up and wake up to fake propaganda news. Trump had good policies and seemed to back religious freedom and had a good cabinet like Ben Carson. There are a few things I don't agree with Trump, like pushing V's and backing some of his candidates. Yeah, that's all cool, James. I guess my thing is this. I just want people to realize that Trump is going to make a lot of errors. And, I think he is a really good guy to he plays the game really well. And I think that MAGA needs to use their power and energy to stop him from doing dumb stuff again, because all the signs are pointing towards he's not going to do the right things, in my opinion. So that's all I want. I just want people to treat Trump like he was Ted Cruz. You owe Ted Cruz nothing. Trump did a few things, but at the end of the day, he's there to serve the country. He's not there to be idolized and worshiped. So I just pray that people do that, because I believe in the power of MAGA, but only if they use it for the righteous, not just playing this game with Trump. Someone said no one cares about a horoscope. Next subject. You're like an hour late. I haven't even talked about a horoscope in like 10 minutes. Maybe you did that and I just saw it or something. Men might make the WNBA watchable. Oh, it would be amazing. I'm really going to try that. I mean, I don't know if I want to though, because I don't really want attention. I mean, it would be good for my brand. I'm sure I would blow up, but I don't. Honestly, I kind of just want to be left alone, but they won't leave me alone. So this is where I'm in that debacle. It's like, I don't want all that attention. I don't need extra attention. It's not like I'm desperate for fame, but these people, I mean, they're just getting creepier and creepier and doing it to younger and younger people and destroying society. So at what point will I not even be able to leave alone? They closed the beaches 2 years ago. It's like, you guys are taking my beaches. Now I have to be an WNBA player. I'm 50% going to go to this WNBA thing. I don't want the media bothering me, to be honest. I find them disgusting. They are such degenerate liars. Every day they lie. It's like they have no problem just lying all the time. I will not handle it well. And I'm not saying I'm in a cave, but I have a mouth too. So it's these people that are it's like, excuse me. Someone said you will be an all-star. I'm genuinely curious how I stack up against these ladies, I'm genuinely curious because I'm pretty good at basketball. I mean, obviously I'm not a pro or anything, but I think I could make the WNBA. Maybe I'm cocky. Maybe, you're not that good, Anami. Let's find out, right? There's only one way to find out, so we will see. Someone said, do it, bro. It's not even satire. I genuinely want to play against WNBA players. I want to see how good I am. Am I good enough to play? Am I as good as I think I am? Will they dominate me? Will I make the team? Will they try to kick me out? I don't know. I think I could hoop pretty well, but we'll see. I kind of play like a WNBA player. I have an ugly shot. I do layups all the time. I have a goofy shot like the women do. They don't all have goofy shots, but if you watch the NBA, they're all pretty smooth except for some of them. And then the WNBA, they play like me. I mean, I've always thought I would belong better there anyway, just because they got goofy shots. They shoot Shaq shoots 3 free throws. That's kind of how I play. I got a weird kind of shot, but it just people are like, but I'm a good passer. I'm a good dribbler. I rebound. I hustle. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Someone said, nah, just Ali G that. You got to do it. Ali G was a good show. It's a shame Sacha Baron Cohen became such a loser. Him and like Howard Stern, they became such losers. It's crazy. Such a shame. You know who hasn't become a loser yet? Adam Sandler. Shout out to Adam Sandler. He's one of the people that I used to like, that I still like, that hasn't completely caved. Like Sacha Baron Cohen used to just be so non-politically correct. And now he's like, Facebook needs to ban more people. It's like, dude, stop. Howard Stern's like, if you're not vaccinated, why should you be in the hospital? It's like, Howard Stern, you look like you've never lifted a weight. Howard Stern, I'm not trying to be rude, but he looks like an ashtray. You ever see an ashtray at like a bar? Howard Stern is like the manifestation of like an ashtray at like a hole in the wall bar down the road. And this guy has the nerve to say that you should be kicked out of a hospital if you don't get a vaccine. It's like, bro, you look like a dirty ashtray. Who are you? You're not like The Rock or something. Like, okay, I disagree with you, but you are massive. You do look healthy. Howard Stern looks like a dirty ashtray. He's like, I'm a healthy guy. It's like, bro, you're a degenerate, dirty ashtray that used to like put women on vibrators on like E Network. Like, you're not who you think you are, dude. It's unbelievable. It's like, just stop, dude. No one looks to you for health or moral guidance. They look to laugh, whatever. Someone said, Anomaly, watch That's My Boy and tell me you like Adam Sandler. Is that a new movie? I haven't watched any movie from him recently. Rob Schneider's a definite real one. Rob Schneider's a great guy. He's like more of a political activist. He's always sounded the alarm on vaccinations. Rob Schneider, I think, just seems like a great guy. I like him a lot. Adam Sandler just doesn't say much. Like, Rob Schneider's like somewhat of a political activist. Yeah, he's a real one. I would love to interview Rob Schneider. He seems like a very genuine person. I appreciate him. Someone said, I'm Crazy Steve from Mr. Deeds. I half believe you. Yeah, we love Rob Schneider here. That's a good guy. We appreciate him. Real one, good American. He's a good guy, for sure. We gotta just not hate on people. We gotta show love to the real ones. Someone said Jim Brewer's legendary too. For sure. I gotta interview him. I checked my messages like 2 years ago, and he had messaged me on Instagram, and he was like, dude, I love your videos. I watched them all. Jim Brewer. And I was like, dang, that's cool. That's crazy. And he's been really doing some funny stuff recently. I mean, he's always been funny, but he definitely gets it for sure. Jim Brewer, cool guy. It's crazy. Like, I don't know. It's crazy when certain people hit me up and they're like, I've been watching. I'm like, oh, I better be on my best behavior then, because I got a real crowd out here. Yeah, he's a good guy. Someone said Trump told Stern he'd bang his daughter if she wasn't his daughter. Did he do that? I feel like I've seen like a clip of something like that, but listen, no comment. I don't know. Judy said, I love your new video. Thank you. Appreciate it. Someone said, how do you feel about Nick Fuentes? I do not think he should be getting banned from all these social medias. I've spoken about it sometime. I mean, he's been banned from Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I believe in free speech. I believe that, the right wing is kind of gatekeeping the further right from entering the discussion. And, I made a podcast of why I think that just shows that Republicans are controlled opposition culturally, because they're gatekeeping what the right wing is, but they allow the left wing to say whatever they want. It's like, if the left is free to say whatever they want in a free country, why wouldn't the further right be able to speak their mind? And why are you not able to just disagree with it and explain a better version? You start to see in people, it's like when you talk to a left winger, right? If I were to debate a left winger, here's what I wouldn't do, right? I wouldn't call them a racist. I wouldn't call them a sexist. I wouldn't call them a xenophobe. I wouldn't call them a Nazi. I wouldn't use all these words. I wouldn't even call them like a communist. If I was going to call them a communist, I would have to explain the manifesto and the parts of it I didn't like. I wouldn't just use a label that said I'm better than you. But if I debated a liberal, a leftist, they would probably call it racist, sexist. They'd probably use those words 1,000 times to the point where we couldn't even have a conversation. So with Nick, when Nick debates normal right-wing people, they can't debate his ideas without calling him a racist or an anti-Semite or, whatever. They call him far right, nationalist, like all these things where it's like, it just, to me, that shows you that these right-wingers have never been challenged from the further right. So if you're really, I'm confident in what I say, I would be willing to have a conversation or debate with anybody, knowing that it would be fair and in good, context. Like, I wouldn't want to be taken out of context or whatever. But like, I'm confident. I really believe what I say. So I'm not afraid of people challenging my ideas. I think, Nick has really exposed the Republican Party that they don't know as much as they say they know. And the second that you start questioning some of their ideas from a perspective, they just start using the word racist all the time, like a liberal. So, I don't think he should be banned. And I think he should be allowed to debate people. And I think a lot of people are afraid of debating him, because I don't think they know what they're talking about as much as they say they do. That's just my perspective. So, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, the word racist, I'm writing a book about it. I know I've said this a million times. I don't think it should be used like barely ever. It doesn't mean that I think people should be rude to other people or other races. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, that word doesn't really mean anything anymore, because it's like, like if I was you're a racist, BLM's a racist, like all these Republicans, the left is racist. Like what explain what you're talking about. It's like, I'm looking at like, oh, if you don't like Tim Scott, you're a racist. You called him an Uncle Tom, you're a racist. Like, this is like right wingers doing this, where it's like, listen, that's not a nice thing to do. It's not nice to call him a slur. It's mean. It's definitely like not ideal. However, does that mean you hate all black people if you call Tim Scott a name and you're left wing? It's just a corny thing. It's like, I don't like Tim Scott for different reasons. I think he's a total like rhino, like lame. I don't like Tim Scott at all. He seems like a nice guy, but like as a politician, I think he's like a total lame. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? It just muddies the oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. He's a racist. Nick Fuentes is a racist. No, Trump's the real racist. No, the liberals are the real racist. No, Biden's the racist. But his crime bill was racist. Oh no, you're a racist for not liking Tim Scott. You're a It's like everyone's just calling. It's like children. Stop. Calm down. Can we talk about Ketanji Jackson Brown? Can we talk about Nick? Can we talk about Trump? Can we like explain ourselves, or we're just going to call each other racist? It's so corny. And the right wing does it, not as much as the left, but in my opinion, too much. And, when people who like Nick started showing up to Charlie Kirk events, I mean, Charlie and the TPUSA situation, they really exposed themselves. And listen, I'm not asking them to agree with Nick, but they started calling him homophobe, anti-Semite, explain why he is hateful to Jewish people. I would be impressed by that, right? Explain why he's wrong, and explain why he's too hateful, and explain how you would do it. Because I actually don't do what they do. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I am myself. I do my own energy. I'm my own person. So I don't act like him and his fans. However, if I were to debate their ideas, I would not just call them names. I would have to explain why you're wrong and why you should do it this way, not just like, that's like the right wing. They threw him in a corner, that kid. He's like in his 20s and he's like blacklisted from everything. I mean, that's not free speech to me. I'm not threatened by bad ideas like black, white, left, right. Doesn't bother me. I mean, as long as it's like not, calls to violence or something, I think that's probably like, passing the line. But it's like an unpopular racial opinion. You think that bothers me? Like, it's just so, this is why we're losing free speech. It's both sides just like slowly giving it up. But yeah. Let's see. Someone said, can Elon reinstate Trump's account? I don't think he has that much power, but he could probably leverage it and try to lobby for it. So we'll see. I mean, I think they're going to give Trump his account back before he runs for office. That's my thought. Someone said, I think I'm trying to make a point. I got called a weirdo for asking the question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you a weirdo. I just didn't. I guess it was just like weirdly worded. I'll say that. You're not a weirdo, Anna. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a weirdo. Does that make you feel better? I think I'm a weirdo. But no, it was like a weirdly worded multiple question. I thought you were saying I was in Trump's family, but it's okay. Someone said Twitter stock will shoot through the moon if Trump comes back. He deserves a Twitter. I mean, how else are right wingers going to know about Moderna? No, I'm just kidding. Trump was the best Twitter user ever. He deserves a Twitter. He deserves a voice. He deserves platforms. I mean, So he should be back on for sure. Someone said Elon could say a few words and tank the Twitter stock. Yeah, he did that with like crypto too. He talks about Dogecoin. It flies through the roof for like 20 minutes. It's pretty crazy. Someone said a famous black man once said to stop racism, stop talking about it. Yeah, that was Morgan Freeman. That's a great video. But they know that there's power in racial division. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the people doing it, they're not black or white. I'm just being honest. A lot of the people orchestrating a lot of this white versus black little combination, they are not white or black. They are their own ethnic group. And they are, when asked, they will say, I'm not blank, I'm blank. And, it's like really sick what they're doing. It's not everybody doing it. It's not to blame everybody, but that's really, in my opinion, what's going on. You have a different ethnic group that is really orchestrating a lot of this stuff, including Black Lives Matter. That's just on record. So, that's why they're pushing all these hate speech laws. In my perspective, you can't say this, you can't say that. It's people with power. They're not trying to be called out, and they're trying to figure out how to stop people from saying that they're doing it. It's not to say everybody's doing it. It's not to blame everybody. It's like if you talked about a crime rate, you're not saying that every person of that ethnic group is doing a crime. However, statistically, if you look at certain cities, there is a large portion of a small portion of people doing certain crimes. It doesn't mean you're blaming everybody. It's like saying, Asians do well at school on average. It's like every Asian is not smart, but I would say that Asians crush it, on average. Indian Americans are crushing it statistically. Doesn't make you pro or anti-Indian. It's like, it's just kind of what's happening. And the worst people from every ethnic group, they use their ethnicity as a shield to push forward their agenda and then cry victimhood when you attack their ideas. They say, oh, what do you hate? All my people? You must be an anti-Semite. You must be racist. It's like, no, I just don't like you. But if you're going to run a black group and say, this is a black group, and then I say, well, you're doing that, and you say, oh, that's racist, it's like, you're a liar. And it's the same with like hundreds of Jewish groups doing stuff on behalf of their ethnic group, or it's not everybody doing it, but they are. And then you say, hey, you're doing that. And, oh, you're an anti-Semite. These are the games that wicked people play. I mean, have you ever heard Rob Schneider, who is Jewish, say you're an anti-Semite to shut down someone's idea? I've never once heard him call somebody an anti-Semite. I mean, I'm sure maybe he has at one point, but do you know why Rob Schneider is not calling thousands of people anti-Semites all the time? Because he's a good person and he is honest. And he doesn't need to hide behind his ethnic group for his opinions, and he can defend them. It's not the best people of every ethnicity using these words racist and anti-Semite all the time. It's either the worst or the laziest. It's a lazy thing to do. I mean, if someone literally hates you because of your race and hates everybody of your race because of your race, then I believe it's appropriate to be like, yeah, you're irrationally hateful. You're blaming me for something I didn't do, and you don't even know me. To me, that's an evil thing to do. And a lot of people do that out of hate and anger. And I mean, that's on them. I'm grateful that I've experienced different people, different things where I can see through it. It's like, on one hand, I think you should be able to talk about race. On one hand, I think you should be able to point out differences in ethnic groups and religion. On one hand, I think you should be able to, be honest about race and certain people that are doing certain things of certain races, But at the end of the day, I really, truly don't believe you should ever like blame or hate everybody. I don't think that's honest, And I think it's just like, it's an evil thing to do if you just like start blaming random people for something that someone else is doing. But that's not the speech laws. I don't think it's defending like your average Joe. I think it's defending powerful groups, powerful institutions, powerful countries, So, but yeah, I mean, I agree with Daryl Davis as well. Like, Daryl Davis was on Joe Rogan. He's a black jazz musician. He got a bunch of KKK members to like disavow the KKK. He didn't do it through like banning them. He talked to them. I mean, it sounds corny, but I really think that's the only way. Like, I don't know, if you got to ban somebody, you're probably the evil person in the situation when it comes to like banning them from banks and throwing them in jail and like kicking them off Twitter. I don't know. It's a slippery slope. So I think the best way to, convince somebody that you're right is by being right, not by banning their bank accounts and calling them a racist. I don't think that works. I think, criminalizing anti-Semitic speech creates more anti-Semitism. I think it almost, in a weird way, like makes people feel more right about it because they're like, oh, you really are running things, you know, and you're not allowing me to say it. So it's like, it's not an effective strategy to get people to stop hating you irrationally. It actually makes them angrier and feel more justified. So I don't, speech censorship and calling somebody a racist and an anti-Semite is just like such an ineffective strategy. I don't know. I mean, I almost feel like they're doing it purposely, or else they're just like out of their mind. Like I don't know like what's going through like Rachel Levine's head. I have no idea. Like they're clearly not thinking like I'm thinking. So I don't know if they're purposely doing it or they're just like scatterbrained, you know what I'm saying? And just like, but like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they think they're doing the right thing. They're not, but we'll see. Someone said he's not. Oh, wait, that was not the right one. Common sense is a term that doesn't exist anymore. Someone said he's not taking questions from Facebook. He's taking from Twitter. I'm taking some from Facebook. I don't know. I'm just kind of going back and forth. Someone said, stayed away from politics my whole life. Since Trump was elected, I've been activated. Can't shut it down. Thankfully, I'm not alone. Here we are on a Saturday night. Well, hopefully you're having fun. I'm probably not going to stay too much longer, but I am enjoying myself. I want to read this. This was a good one. Let me find it. Nina said, wait, I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Facts beat shiny propaganda. If you can't post a fact, it can't be disputed. Facts win in the end. I think propaganda works in the short term, but facts work in the long term. You can't cover up the truth forever, but it's definitely an effective strategy to seize power. But then when you have the power, it's not righteous power. You're no Marcus Aurelius in power. You're like a full-blown psychopath. So I think like that's why all these laws are getting crazy and stuff. It's because the people in power are such skeezballs that they are so paranoid, right? They didn't earn their position there. They're not the best human in the country. They're not righteous. They don't believe in God. They're not trying to help people. So they're like paranoid, right? They're like, that's their energy because they know they don't belong there. They know they're not good people. So that's why they're like passing all these laws, lockdowns, that's like the sign of like a schizophrenic psycho that just is like, has like a guilty conscience, That's why they're going so crazy because they're just such bad people there. We'll see like where it goes, but I don't think it lasts forever. I think it will subside, but maybe I'm just an optimistic person. Who knows? If you didn't see a notification today, folks, and you want one, here's where you get it. t.me/DreamweaverChat. It's my Telegram channel. It's completely free, and it's the only way I can really get around the Facebook censorship. Someone said, never trust a politician. I agree. Make them earn your trust, right? And just, keep your eyes peeled because it's a shifty industry. It's like a car salesman, And this is where Trump, like to me with the vaccine, Trump proved to me he's as good as a car salesman. He sold that vaccine as if it was the greatest. He literally said it was the greatest achievement in human history, one of the greatest achievements. Like he's a snake oil salesman with the vaccine, at least in my opinion. Anyway, it's like even people. I know dozens of people who got vaccinated. If I asked everybody I know who got vaccinated, do you think this is one of the greatest achievements in modern history, a product that you have to get 4 times and can allegedly get sick 5 times? There's people who are triple vaccinated who got COVID 5 times, according to do you think this is one of the, even I know people that are vaccinated. Do you think this is one of the greatest achievements in human history? No. Literally a very small portion of people in this country think that this vaccine was one of the greatest achievements in human history. Like no one thinks that, but Trump still says that. So here's my point. Politicians are car salesmen. It doesn't mean you won't buy a car, but you got to know going into it, they're trying to sell me this car. They're trying to sell me this insurance. They're trying to sell me on the tire deal. They get a commission, right? It's their job. Politics is the same way. Trump is the ultimate car salesman. But the problem is people think he's not a politician and not a car salesman. He is a politician, and he proved to you he is like the biggest car salesman. He proved it. So if you don't pick up on that, it's on you. It's not his fault. He is a car salesman. He is a snake oil salesman. He took something that is probably one of like the biggest failures of his presidency and is trying to act as if it's the greatest achievement of human history. I mean, better than, I don't know, like Band-Aids and hospital beds and air conditioning and cars, trains, airplanes. It's better than that? No, of course it's not. No one thinks that. I bet you that there's 100+ vaccinated people watching this stream, and maybe like 2 of them think it's like the greatest achievement ever. I guarantee you 90% of the vaccinated people listening to this don't think it's the greatest achievement ever. You know, there's medications I've taken that I don't think is the greatest achievement ever. It doesn't mean I didn't, you know, it's like, dude, do you want me to find that clip? It's like, if you don't think he's a politician and a car salesman at this point, like, what's it going to take? You know, how many more bad endorsements? It's actually hilarious. I'm going to find it. Achievement. I got the technology right now to find it and put it on the screen. So I'm going to do it. It's literally hilarious. Hold on one second. Let me find it. I got to get greatest human achievement. I got to find this clip. It's so good. Let's see. Vaccine. I'm gonna find it. Give me a few seconds if you don't mind. I apologize for being unprepared. Vaccine achievement. Unfortunately, he said something like that recently, so I can't find it. Where is it? History. I apologize. Maybe I'll just have to not do it and bring it up a different time, but I really thought I could find it. I guess I can't. Oh, well. Let's see. Someone said Canada bought 10 jabs per person. Is that true? Lucky you guys. You get to be on lockdown for 10 jabs. That's dope, man. I love things that you just keep getting and then you still get test positive. Yeah, I can't find the clip of him saying it's a great achievement. I kind of want to keep looking. Let me see. Greatest achieve. Maybe I spelled achievement wrong. Let's see. I guess he said something similar recently, so all those new ones are coming up, unfortunately. Let's see. What was the exact wording? That's gonna help me. Let me see. Trump says greatest human achievement history. Trump has hailed the vaccine as one of the greatest achievements. Oh, he said of mankind. That's what it is. Got it. All right. I'm going to find it now because I just needed the right words. Not making fire, automobiles, train. It's like so good. All right. I got the clip coming in like 15 seconds. I found it. Oh, yeah. Money. All right. Downloading, uploading. Because a lot of people still be like, no, he's different. He's not a politician. They're all car salesmen, but not Trump. He's would never sell me something. He took something that literally less than 10% of the country. Nobody thinks, like, you go to a room of 1,000 vaccinated people and be like, do you think this was one of the greatest achievements in human history? And they're like, no, I'm triple vaccinated, but I would say that's like an exaggeration. He's great at it. All right, here it is. Oh my gosh.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917, remember?
Oh my God. Yo, one of the greatest achievements of mankind. I mean, not going on the moon. I mean, going on the moon. Not finding fire for the first time, not automobiles, trains, planes, hospital beds, air conditionings, buildings. I mean, literally there's like 100,000 things that humans have done that is better than this, but snake oil salesman, car salesman, AKA I'm not a politician, Mr. Politician. If you don't treat him like a Ted Cruz at this point and be highly skeptical of what he does instead of just worshiping him, to me, it's the same thing as being like a BLM person at this point.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So
I want to just play it one more time and we'll move on.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
If you don't think he's a car salesman at this point, I don't know. Literally, I could ask, I know like 20 people that are fully vaccinated, be like, hey, do you regret getting it? They'll be like, nah, it's whatever. Or some say yes. It doesn't matter to me. But it's like, do you think it was one of the greatest achievements of mankind? And they're like, no. But Trump does, though. But he's going to lead you. He's going to fight the deep state by selling Bill Gates' products and overselling them. Like, he's worse than a car salesman. You go to a car, this is the best car of mankind. Like, no, it's not. It's not the best car of mankind. I'm just not rich enough to buy the best car of mankind. So I'm buying this car. It's good. It's nice. Yeah, I'm not trying to buy the worst car, but it's not that. Like, I know going into it, they want to sell this. Hopefully it's a good car. But this right here, that this RAV4 is the greatest car in modern history. And you're like, I mean, I didn't think it was like a bad car, but I'm not sold on the fact that it's like the greatest car in modern history. I just wanted something reliable. And they're like, oh, reliable? Are you kidding? This thing's better than a Lamborghini. It's faster. It looks sexier. I mean, women will run up to your car. It's like, I know that's not true. I don't like small cars anyway, but in general, it's like, I'm not paying for a Lamborghini right now. So you don't have to, you don't have to pretend like it's a Lamborghini. Like I'm self-aware. It's like, I'm here to just, some people are like, I'm here to just get the gas mileage. And they're like, no. It's the greatest car in modern history.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
If people don't realize it yet, I don't know what it's going to take. You don't have to hate him. It's like, just please stop like licking his boots and being like, he really saved our country. He did the most. It's like, he ran around for a year lying on behalf of Fauci and Bill Gates. It's like, if I ever did that, please think I'm controlled opposition, by the way. It's not like I have double standards for myself. If I ever did one half of what Trump did in 2021, you're allowed to be like, yeah, that's controlled opposition. He's paid off. He's compromised. Because I never would do that. I'm not compromisable. I would never do that. I don't care what the cost was. I would not allow my soul and my mouth to do that. So if I ever did that, I would hope people were like, okay, Anomaly's different. I would beg people to be like, wake up, guys. Klaus Schwab's over there with like a genie bottle in his hand telling me he's going to put me in the next dimension. I'm just kidding. But, it's pretty, I mean, no one thinks what he just said. If he believes what he just said, he's dumb. If he doesn't believe what he said, he's a liar. I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on. Glad somebody thinks it's funny. Someone said he has values. Yeah, it's not even that I just have values because, yeah, I have values, but it's just like it's just not even an option in my head. I don't know. I believe that, there are some things worse than death. They always say like dishonor is worse than death, where it's like, I'm a flawed human. I'm not perfect. It's not like my life is flawless, but I'm not compromisable because I just couldn't do that, And here's what I've told people this before, but like I've met certain people. I'm not going to name names. I'm not a drama queen, but it's like not everybody's dumb or foolish. Like some people know what they're doing. Seriously. Like some people that you might think are just dumb or foolish, they know what they're doing. They've decided in their head, I would rather have a job. I would rather have money. I'd rather play it safe. I'd rather keep my sugar daddy or my lobbyist or whoever it is. I'd rather keep that, my media company. I'd rather have that than my word. They've made that decision. Like, I know I could say more, but I just don't want to. And I get it. Everybody to a certain extent, even at a job, it's like, do I go that far and say that? But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I couldn't do that. It's just like, I would rather lose everything. But I think you could get things as well by not compromising. So I don't think you have to compromise. But if someone asked me, like, would you, for $1 billion, would you run around selling this thing as the greatest achievement in human history? No. If they threaten me or something, if you don't do this, we're going to do this too. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. It's just not, I couldn't do that to myself. Dishonor is worse than death, in my opinion. I mean, that's why I consider Trump such an evil person. I think he inspired millions of people, got millions of people to love him, and then became an evil car salesman for a year. I consider him like a soulless demon, but whatever. He's better than Biden, I guess. But as far as like morals, values, I mean, time tells all. And the fact that Trump was willing to go that far to sell this product, not just sell it, but to try to tell people it's the greatest achievement in human history, he's not a good person. I think he's horrible, but they're all bad. So I guess, for my own taxes and my own self-preservation, I would vote for him over Biden again, but there's zero chance that I'm supporting Trump in the primaries. I mean, there's got to be somebody better than him. Rand Paul, I don't know. Even if DeSantis doesn't run, maybe someone that doesn't have a chance. I'll vote for anyone over that guy in the primaries. But then, if he makes it versus Biden, I just think strategically it's better to vote for him. But do I think he's like a moral good person? Not really. I don't know. I feel like he's totally compromised his soul. I don't think he believes in God like he says he does. And I think, his massive ego is like has put him on a fast track to hell. But, God decides all. It's not my decision. I don't tell people what to do, but that's just how I feel. I don't know. To tell that big of a lie to his base for that long of a period of time, like 15 times over and over and over again. I mean, I don't think he's working for God. I think he's working for Satan. But, it's like the question, like, would I vote for Gavin Newsom or Caitlyn Jenner? A lot of right-wingers was like, I would never vote for Caitlyn Jenner because she's transgender. It's like, but to me, it's like, it's this moral conundrum where it's like, would I vote for Caitlyn Jenner, who shares some of my values while not sharing some of my values? Or would you vote for Gavin Newsom? Not voting is not going to change anything. If those were the only two options, I voted for Larry Elder. But in general, if those were the only two options, it's this moral conundrum. I mean, I could claim that it doesn't matter, but it actually kind of does matter. I mean, I would probably vote for Caitlyn Jenner. Is that wrong? You could say as a Christian, that's horrible, but I don't know. It's this moral conundrum. Like, I would probably vote, I don't know, but maybe that's worse. Maybe it's better to have a straight white man psycho, like person who steals my money and wants to, force vaccinate people. I don't know. It's like, what's better? The transgender who wants to, let workers decide for themselves and not force vaccinate people, or the straight man who doesn't, is a Democrat who believes in nothing I believe in? I don't know. Well, like, let me know in the comments, like, who would you have voted for? I don't know. It's like, it's like with Trump or Biden. I think Trump is better than Biden, but not by as much as people think. Like, someone said, you are why I stopped listening to X22 and Praying Medic. I mean, it is what it is, but I just think they're kind of selling people on the dream. It's like this constant, like, you're playing this game where Trump is a wizard, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it's the opposite. Just wait, trust. It's like, I don't know. I think they're con artists, but am I on drugs now? No, I'm completely sober, John. I'm sober. I'm healthy. I was in the sun. I'm drinking water and coffee. If coffee's a drug, guilty. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let me see. Would you guys vote for Gavin Newsom or Jenner? I mean, there's a lot of Christians say I would never vote for it. I get it. I'm not telling you you're wrong or right. It's just like, for me, I'm like, I don't know if I could say, if I could save 1 million healthcare workers from having to take something or get fired, I don't know. It's like, there are moral conundrums in this world where I get both sides of it, but that's how I feel. Where with Trump or Biden, I mean, I would still vote for Trump, even though I think he's wicked. I mean, clearly, I think he would, do some things that would benefit me. And I think his judges would be better, over time, even if they weren't as great as, Clarence Thomas. I don't know. I mean, that's just how I feel. Someone said coffee's a drug. Well, that explains why Scott Adams went off the deep end, right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I guess it is a drug. Someone said I'm tripping on acid. Do you think I would live stream on YouTube and Facebook if I was tripping on acid? Hey guys, like, dude, my whole show would be done. And they're like, dude, what's the Anomaly doing? I'm like, oh, dude, yo, this is crazy, dude. What? You're like, dude, the last thing I would do is live stream on Facebook if I was tripping on acid. But I appreciate your thought process. Someone says Stu Peters had a chick on that said Michael Flynn was actually working against Trump and is working the system now to run for prez. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I don't know with the Mike Flynn stuff, maybe. Here's my issue with certain people. Like Stu, I don't know much about Stu. I've seen some clips of him. He definitely seems like very unapologetic and like very blunt. And I like that, but I don't know everything he's saying. I've only seen like little clips and stuff. My issue with like certain people, like the X22 stuff, I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't care if you have some bad theories. It doesn't like offend me or it's like whatever. We all can talk. We all have opinions. It is what it is. But what I started noticing about like a lot of these Q people, it wasn't bad, even just bad theories. It was like what I started noticing was like they were pathological liars. That was the part that blew my mind. If you have a bad theory, whatever. But if you're like pathologically lying, like I would see someone that would say Trump will be back on January 6th. And make no mistake, a lot of these Q people were the ones, just like people are like, oh, there was FBI there and they opened the doors. It's like also the QAnon movement was hyping up a lot of these false narratives that got people yoked up. So make no mistake, I'm not blaming them for everything. And there was no other side to it, but that was part of the PSYOP, was to get people all wound up, put them in a place, make it uncomfortable, put some agents, whatever, and then do it. But in general, I started noticing they would tell people, Patriots, Trump will be back on January 6th. I guarantee it. And then January 7th would come around. Trump's not there or whatever, and they would be like, I never said that. Dude, just admit you made a mistake. That's how kind of like Mike Lindell was. He got caught in that like path. I like Mike Lindell. I think he's a genuine person, but I also think he's like somewhat of a pathological liar because he was like, I'm 100% certain. Bro, I speak in poker terms and betting terms. 100% means 100%. If there's a 99% chance, be honest about it. That's just how I think. I'm into like betting odds and poker stuff. 100% in Texas Hold'em means it's literally over. Don't lie. 95%, 5%, you could still lose. He sat there and said he was 100% certain and then tried to act like it was only left-wing media saying that. So I feel like the Q people, it didn't become like, oh, we're fighting the pedophiles. It was like this like narcissistic, pathological liars where they cared more about their own ego and their own theories more than they cared about the truth. They had no problem lying. They had no problem being sloppy. And if you're being sloppy with pedophilic, content, not content, but like analysis on pedophiles, then you're like someone calling everybody racist, right? Pedophiles are real. But if you're just saying like everybody's a pedophile all the time, it's like you're not being accurate. You don't even care about accuracy. So you're like the person who calls everybody a racist. You're actually helping them by blurring the lines of reality. Like if there's pedophiles in the government, but you're saying there's a ship on the border that's carrying pedophile, like that's not helping the narrative because there are literal pedophiles in government, I'm sure, but you're trying to like make this side story the main story for 3 weeks, and then you realize the ship has no significant value and you're wrong, and then you move on and act like you never said it. So that was my issue with them. It's like some things they were right about, but certain people like in that queue, and I'm not even saying Flynn, but like they weren't simply just making mistakes and they weren't simply just like telling the truth. They became legit pathological liars. I'm a truther. I'm a wizard. Nothing matters. It's like with genders, there's 1, there's 2, there's 1,000. Now nothing matters. Now you've ruined everything. Everything's whatever. 1 + 1 is 7. If you don't have basic something, nothing matters. It's not a good thing. They did that to conspiracy theories. It's like, we don't have to be accurate because if we're wrong, we're secretly right. We're just giving codes. We're doing fortune cookies. It's going to happen on the 6th. No, I never said that. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Then what's the, just tell the truth. It's like, you got it really attracted some crazy people, like not everybody, but there's definitely like a lot of people that got like high off their own supply and just got audiences and were like, listen, I'm going to tell people stuff and then go back on it. And then just like, it's like, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people got lost in that sauce. Someone said, I want a fortune cookie code. Well, you can get one. Just get some Chinese food. Try to get one with no MSG. It's not good. Let's see. Someone said, I'm still wondering when the Kraken is going to be released. Well, like psychologically, if you're always speaking in codes, you never have to be accountable for anything. You're just like, it might happen, it might not. It's like a carrot with a string on it, where it's like, it could never happen, it could happen. If you disagree with them, they say you're not optimistic. It was really like a sick psychological game that like a lot of like MAGA moms fell for. But, I don't know. People can do what they want. But someone said nothing wrong with MSG. I mean, I disagree, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe MSG is amazing for you. I don't know. Someone said, and even Tucker turned on. Wait, I got the wrong one. Sorry. Even people turned on Tucker over the Kraken when he said he was doing a good job investigating. I mean, yeah, I get it. It was definitely an emotional time because, even I thought Trump still had a chance. You know what I'm saying? I thought he had it like legally. I was like, maybe he'll get enough evidence and bring it to the courts and prove it, before January 6th. And maybe there will be like a mass awakening that something happened. But, that didn't happen. The courts didn't bite. The evidence was not like as good as, in my opinion, like as someone who still thought Trump would win. I was hoping they had like the most evidence, but it didn't really manifest. And then I feel like Trump threw a Hail Mary, right? He didn't get the results he wanted. So he just threw it in Mike Pence's hands, which is not your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 20th, 30th. That's not your first 30 things you want to do. It was like a Hail Mary at the end of the game. And let me tell everybody that he's going to change it or he should change it. And it's like, everybody fell for that too. I mean, I get it. It's an emotional time. You don't want Joe Biden to win. You want Trump to win. I totally get it. Someone said, I just got home from the casino blasted. Bet you didn't think your comment was going to go on my live stream, did you? But you're here. Blasted. I'm trying to just mess with you. Isn't that crazy? Damn, I was watching Anomaly and I'm blasted. I came back from the casino and now he's just trying to act funny and stuff. I'm just playing. I'm just messing with you. But hopefully you won money. Sounds like you probably lost though. You get too drunk, they take your money. Slots. You start getting sloppy at the blackjack table. That's why they give out free alcohol. They want you to just turn up and then 7 in. You're like, well, I'll put $100 chip on on the roulette table. Next thing you know, they got you. Someone said, thanks, I'm happy you're live. All right, I'm glad you like that. That's pretty funny, in my opinion. Someone said, I'm banning MSG to the Google. I am watching you destroy your career. I didn't mean to put that one on, but that's fine. I mean, people have said this to me at every point in my career. So, I mean, I don't know what part you think it's going to destroy it, but people said this at every point of my career. When I made a video and I told people that Trump was not that bad and it got like 20 million views, liberals told me, oh my God, your career's ruined. And I'm like, no, I'm telling the truth. You're liars. And then when I talked about, the speech laws of 2019 that Republicans were passing, I had literally people in Republican media tell me, Anomaly, you're right, but don't say that. Even though you're right, they're going to label you far right, even though you're not. And I'm like, I don't care what the liars say. Nobody's going to believe you. I already have enough audience that knows that I'm not like crazy. So your words mean nothing to me. But in general, they told me I would lose my career. Then in March of 2020, when I started accurately reporting lockdowns and vaccination and all that stuff, you know who told me I was going to ruin my career? You know who was giving me the most hate? It wasn't even the left wing. I said lockdowns are bad. It was QAnon people. Not all of them, but some people. Why were they mad at me for being against lockdowns? Because they got brainwashed by the Q stuff, thinking martial law was good. Lockdowns were good because that's what they told people for 3 years. The pedophiles are going to get arrested when Trump does the lockdowns. They brainwashed libertarians and conservatives to be communists so Trump could do that. So then there's months of lockdowns and all this crazy stuff. And I'm saying, Trump's got to open the country. And all these Q people are saying, Anomaly, your career's ruined. This is a good lockdown. They're arresting pedophiles in Italy. And I'm like, you're hallucinating. You're pathological liars. Leave me alone. And then 4 months later, guess what happened? The same people, the same Q people that said, Anomaly, you're going to lose your career for telling the truth when I'm lying. Guess what they started doing? Oh, copying the reporting I did 4 months ago. And I don't own it. I'm just saying they started saying Fauci's bad. Lockdowns are bad. We need to open up. Wow, that's what I was saying 3 months ago. That's cool that you guys treated me like garbage and then just copy and pasted my reporting from 3 months ago. You're a little behind, but I appreciate it. And then what happened? And then Trump sold the vaccine for 2 years and said it was the greatest achievement of modern history. Guess what? When I heard this,
vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had.
That's a lie. So I said it was a lie. People said, Anomaly, oh my gosh, you're going to lose your career. And then he got booed in Alabama by his own supporters. Why? Because he's overselling the vaccine like a sleazy car salesman. So this has been like 20 times that people have told me I'm going to lose my career. And it just keeps getting bigger. And it's because I don't lie. I'm not a pathological liar. I'm not a cult member. I don't worship the Republican Party. I simply just speak facts, tell the truth, admit what I don't know. And everybody that tells me I'm going to lose my career ends up just copy and pasting what I said a year ago now, because they realize that they got duped, or they realize that lockdowns are bad. And then they pathologically lie about it. All these people that said, oh my God, lockdowns are good. This is when the pedophiles get arrested. They're getting the Vatican, just let Trump do his thing for a few months. He's really going to weed out the bad guys. It's like, no, he just blew his own election. That's what he did. He's going to be 2 terms, and then he doesn't. These are the people that then 2 months later, when they're like, Fauci's bad, lockdowns are bad, I say, hey, remember when, like, I would talk to people, I'd be like, remember when you messaged me and said, shut up, lockdowns are good, and like, you shouldn't badmouth Trump for like 17 days to slow the spread or whatever it was. I say, remember that? And they're like, I never said that. I'm like, you're not a truther. You're like literally a pathological liar. You say something, you're wrong about it. It's not a big deal. But then 3 months later, you have such a narcissistic ego that you're not even willing to tell the truth about it. It's crazy. It's like this movement that is hyping people up to just be total liars. It's really weird. Like, you want to ask me my politics in 2008 or 2012? I'll tell you. You want to ask me who I voted for in 2016? I'll tell you. People say, oh, Anomaly, I heard that, you actually like Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton. It's like, everyone knows that, because my biggest pro-Trump video explained that. I said I voted for Jill Stein in 2016, and I didn't really know that much. I said that in a video that gets 20 million views. So people like, I'm exposing it. It's like, I've literally told that to people bigger than your audience. And that was kind of like the selling point, was liberals. I probably got more people to like Trump than most people through my truth. I had one guy come on, get all mad at me over what I just said. And he was like, Anomaly, I think you're wrong about Trump. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. I'm here to debate you. And he's like, you were the one who inspired me to like Trump in the first place. And I'm like, oh, getting mad at the old sensei. It's cool. It's not like everyone has to agree with me, but it's like, he's so angry at me now for calling out the vaccine selling. However, I'm literally the one who inspired him to like Trump in the first place. It's not a big deal, but I'm just saying, it's like, it's just wild. Like, I've had a big impact. I've helped Trump a lot. I got invited to the White House. I appreciate it. But, I'm not bribable. It's not like, oh, I want to go to Mar-a-Lago, so I'm just going to act like it's cool. It's not cool. I don't think this is cool.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had a 1917.
That's a lie. And I don't think Trump is a 5-dimensional chess wizard from Guantanamo Bay. He came up with the Loch Ness Monster and Nikola Tesla. I don't think that. I think he's a politician. I think he's a rich guy. I think he is, a little lost or lying. And I think it's our duty as an American citizen to be honest and hold our politicians accountable and say, hey, I voted for you in 2020, but I don't agree with you. Instead of being like, I'm going to lick his boots and yell at people who don't. It's not what I think. But let's see. I'm going to read. Someone said, Ukraine flag in the bio. I appreciate it. Glad you like the song. Check it out. Ukraine flag in the bio. It's on Spotify. If you search Ukraine flag in the bio, you can find it. If you search it on YouTube, you can find it as well. It should be on iTunes soon, but I think I blew my chance at the Billboard charts. I uploaded it too quickly and it's not on iTunes, but whatever. I don't even care. Someone I think he was misled. Here's the thing though. If you're a leader and you're constantly getting misled about topics that include pretty much human imprisonment, millions of people being locked down, losing their jobs, if you're wrong about such an easy topic, then you're just not a good leader at that point. It's like if Ron DeSantis gets in office, supports lockdowns, does all this stuff, and then we're like, he just got misled. It's like, if he's not leading himself and other people are leading him and he's following people that are going down the path to hell, then maybe it's time to jump off the train and say, hey, let's stop this direction. It's not time. He doesn't need to be babied, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know. If I'm like totally wrong about an important issue in your opinion, I don't want you to baby me either. I mean, I get that people aren't going to agree with everything, but it's like I'm just like a Facebook, YouTube person. If I was actually like the president, it's literally your duty to disagree with it. I have no political power right now. Maybe just somewhat of like media power, to some extent. But I'm not like a public servant, if I was, I don't want you to make excuses for me, I wouldn't want people to be like, well, he's just misled. Well, then lead him in the right direction, because you're actually helping him be misled if you just make excuses for it, right? It's like, tell him I got literally, I would say the hate when I came out and said Trump is not that bad and he's actually doing good things, the hate that I got from liberals was equivalent to the hate that I got from Trump supporters when I said Trump's selling the vaccine too much. I mean, I might have got more hate for saying Trump's selling the vaccine too much. Like liberals were nasty to me, but like the hate that I got and the lies that people were spreading because I was calling out Trump. And the crazy part, the universe always has a funny way of working, or God always has a funny way of working. The day that I made this massive video that people were hating on the most was the day that he got booed in Alabama. So it's like, oh, Anomaly's a left-wing operative. And it's like, is the entire, Trump's, rally left-wing operatives? No, they're Trump-supporting Alabama conservatives who are tired of his sleazy car salesman routine over the vaccine. That's why he got booed. So it's like people want to lie about me because I'm a little bit more out there, and I'm also alone, right? I'm doing my own news analysis. You're not going to tell tens of thousands of Trump supporters in Alabama that they're left-wing operatives because they're not. But with me, I'm sitting here by myself, so people were trying to bully me and be like, "Oh, Anomaly's this, Anomaly's that," and it's like, yeah, oh yeah, and magically, the biggest Trump supporters in the country just booed him as well because they are left-wing operatives. No, they're right-wing patriots who are not total sheep. That made me like Alabama and Alabamans more than anything. Watching them tell him stop, dude. I mean, it's cringy. It's like, how many times are you going to do it, dude? Yeah, he sold it more than Bill Gates. It's like, just stop. So that's my take on it, but it's okay. Someone said, I call the universe God. I mean, I call it God, but I mean, when I talk about the universe, I guess what I mean by it, I'm not trying to be like a liberal hippie, because I know like some hippies are like, and I mean, I used to be this way too. Like, I used to think like universe is God, but like when I say universe, what I'm trying to say is like, okay, the world, biblically is wicked. The world is going to be wicked. I'm talking about the energy in the world on earth that is not wicked, right? That's what I mean by it. Because it's like, if I would say the world, it's like the world is wicked biblically. It's like it's growing more and more evil, but there's still godlike energy in, I just call that the universe. I'm not trying to be like there is no God, it's all but like it's like karma. It's like you get what you put in, the law of attraction. It's like, to me, that's not like anti-biblical, but it's like, you get punished for doing wicked stuff and you get rewarded for doing good things. I think that, it's just, that's what I mean by it. Because if I just called it the world or something, it's like, there's some wickedness going on in the world. But, I think like, even though the world is wicked, there's a lot of great people. There's a lot of good spirit. There's a lot of beautiful nature, that's of God. So it's like, I'm still, even though culture's getting disgusting, I mean, mountains are amazing. The ocean's amazing. I mean, the world is still beautiful, even though, there's a lot of good and evil energy on it. Let me see. I'm going to try to find. Someone said, Anomaly, I don't believe Trump is lying about the vaccine. He trusts too many people like his doctors. I mean, this is a lie, though. I don't like, I feel like people have like Trump derangement syndrome, except instead of hating him, they just like literally obsess over him. Like, this is a lie. Okay. This is a lie.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
It's not one of the greatest achievements of mankind. I'm sorry. There's probably 20 medical achievements that are more amazing than that. Cars, planes, automobiles. These have saved more lives, I'm sorry, than this. Being able like clean showers, clean water. These are great achievements in human history that have saved countless amounts of lives, extended our life expectancy, farming tools. It's not. It's a lie. So this is the issue. Is like, if people baby Trump this much, if he's lying about it, that's a lie. Whatever. If you think he trusts people that are wrong, then he's either dumb or a fool. So you think he's dumb or foolish. If he's that foolish to make such massive mistakes in the crunch time for humanity, he's not a good leader. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could think what you want, but I think personally, that type of mentality is contributing to the failing of America because people are treating him like a dumb baby. On one hand, he's this brilliant businessman. On another hand, he's a literal moron fool who is so dumb that he's getting fooled about the biggest issue in America by a bunch of his advisors and doctors. Then he's foolish. Then he's not smart. Like, it's almost like you're calling him dumb and foolish. It's like when Candace interviewed him, and then after she talked about the interview, and she was like, I think he just watches too much Fox News and he's misled, which I feel like is probably true. But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, you could say I'm mean, right? For being blunt, like you're being too hard on him. In my opinion, you're being meaner by thinking he's this dumb or this foolish. Like by saying that, and what Candace, like, it's like, yeah, he's a fool. Yeah, right. He's a big fool. He's too dumb to know about this massive topic that all of his supporters know about, but he just can't figure it out. So is he like the dumbest one of the whole bunch or something? Like, I don't think that's a nice compliment. I get it's like the safe thing to do is like, like, let's call him that. But in my perspective, that isn't like a nice thing to do. It'd be like, he's just getting fooled all the time. Like, I don't think that's like, oh, that's really nice of me. I'm nicer than Anomaly. I'm like, no, I'm blunt. I'm like, yo, you got something on your face, bro. I think you're smart, and I think you're too smart for this. But you're like, no, he's just an idiot. It makes sense. He gets fooled all the time. It's like, it's not a nice thing to say. It's actually just like calling him dumb or a fool. Let's see. Someone said, yes, say the truth with honesty. I mean, I just don't think it's nice, in my opinion, but people have their own way of communicating. I don't know. Let's see. Let me try to find some comments. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people spamming. Someone said, I don't think he could be that dumb. He's taking their money. Well, here's the thing. You could Google this. He took $1 million from Pfizer for his inauguration. And, he was talking to Robert Kennedy about vaccine stuff. And then he decided to turn his back on Robert Kennedy and work with Fauci. And Fauci was the one who shut that down. You could hear Robert talk about that. So in general, I mean, people think that Trump is just this giant fool. Like it's kind of mean. Like his biggest supporters know that he's wrong about certain things, and they just won't admit that he like could change. It's not nice at all. It's like, he's this giant fool that I love, but he's super foolish. It's like, then why would you expect to win if he's such a fool and you baby him like that? I think it's much more logical to say he took $1 million from them and he changed his direction. He was a vaccine skeptic. He was going to work with Del Bigtree and Robert Kennedy. He took $1 million from Pfizer, and then he cut off communication with them. I think that's the more logical stance, is he got paid. He did business deals with them. He got $1 million, and he got millions of dollars for his 2020 inauguration. He's not as sold out as Joe Biden, but I think he caved. I think he sold out. I don't think he's an idiot. That's my thought. But some people, I guess like his biggest supporters, just think he's like a fool, which is like just funny in my opinion. It's like, it's almost like they don't even think he's smart or like logical, where the true reason that we all like Trump from like 2016 to 2019 was because he wasn't a fool. He wasn't getting fooled. He wasn't starting wars. He wasn't like bombing North Korea. We all liked him because he wasn't acting like a fool. If Trump was just a big fool, I don't think anybody would have ever liked him. Nobody voted for him in 2016. No, Trump's this massive fool. He's always getting fooled. No, people voted for Trump in 2016 because like, oh my gosh, he's telling the truth. He's telling the blunt truth, even though it might not be popular. He's not a fool. He's not getting fooled by anything. 2016 to 2019, it seemed like Trump wasn't getting fooled by anything. That's why I liked him so much, because he was right about everything. And then it's like Syria, he made a little mistake, but then he did the right thing. He kept correcting himself. And I was like, wow, Trump is epic. He's just crushing it. And then he started being a fool, and his biggest supporters like, oh yeah, he's just like this giant fool. It's like, don't lie to yourself. You were not thinking this way in 2017. He's getting fooled all the time. He wasn't getting fooled all the time. He started getting fooled. He started lying. He started, doing the wrong thing, and people babying him are responsible for his failures. If his base is going to incentivize and justify that type of behavior, you deserve lockdowns. You deserve forced vaccination. You deserve more Bill Gates vaccines. Why not? I mean, it's just foolishness, right? It's like, well, I don't understand what you're going for. It's like, I don't think you want this country to like last very long. It's just like, whatever. He's just going to get fooled by Jared Kushner, Dr. Fauci. I mean, and then just keep repeating stuff that's like getting crazy and crazy. Like, he's just going to keep talking like this for the rest of his life.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
If people felt like me around Trump and they weren't just yes men trying to ride his coattails to get money and hang out at Mar-a-Lago, he would have stopped this a year ago. he laid off it a little bit once Alabama booed him. Do you know why? Because negative reinforcement works in that sense. People love Donald Trump. So when he realizes that they're getting annoyed, he listens. That's what he should do as a president. I mean, you get what I'm saying? It's like his base is more right than he is. I think if you gave me the top 1,000 Trump supporters on social media, none of them agree with him on that. None of them would do what he did. So why are we going to act like he's this dumb, foolish moron for the rest of time? Like, what do you want America to fail? I guess you do. I guess you just want to have a dumb, foolish leader that is wrong, more wrong than his entire base. Give me the top 10,000 Trump supporters. Give me QAnon people that probably hate me now. Give me them. They're more right about this topic than Donald Trump is. Mike Lindell is more right about this topic than General Flynn is more right. Everybody knows this except for Donald Trump. And we're supposed to just sit here and lick the boots of the biggest fool in the entire movement? Like, give me a Trump rally and 98% of people will agree with me. But Donald Trump just is the most out of touch one, and everybody's just going to sit here and make excuses for it. I mean, you are responsible for this country's failure at this point. Why feel bad for yourself? Why demand more? Just, play patty cake around the big fool. I don't think that's a nice thing to do to him or to the country. Someone say, stay truthful. It made me mad when you first trashed Trump, but over time I realized it's just the truth. I wouldn't even say I'm trashing him. I mean, you could say that, but I would say, I don't know. I would say I'm respecting America. I'm respecting my freedom. I'm respecting my sovereignty. I'm respecting reality about big pharma. I respect this country and the truth more than I want to make excuses for him. I don't know. I guess you could say I'm trashing him, but I would think I'm just standing up for people when he's really doing the wrong thing. But if that's a trash, that's fine. I feel like he trashed our country with the CARES Act. I feel like he trashed our freedom with the Operation Warp Speed. I think he trashed his own supporters. I think he set them up on January 6th by a mistake, probably, but nonetheless, total failure. I think he set his own supporters up with all of this Fauci, Dr. Birx, big pharma stuff he did in 2020, whether he wanted it to be mandated or not, it was always going to be. And he set his own country up for failure, in my opinion. So I feel like he trashed. It's not like I just woke up and let me trash Donald Trump. I feel like he trashed the country. He trashed his own supporters and he threw his own supporters under the bus. And I felt like I was defending them more than I was trashing him. But, it could be taken either way. But it's fine. Someone said Biden isn't even alive. Dude, Biden is alive. Listen, he only got cloned 1,000 times and he's got 999 clones. The one you see is the real one and the other 999 are just waiting. No, I'm just kidding, but I don't have to do this because I don't have to give people attention, but I will just because I don't care. Here's what I'm talking about. You have a Q in your name, right? From Q, you probably into the Q stuff, so you're mad. You're saying Anomaly is controlled opposition funded by George Soros. Never taken $1 by George Soros. Not funded by George Soros. I'm not controlled opposition by George Soros. Okay, so you just told a lie. That's 100% a lie. I don't have to. I don't really want to prove. I'm telling you, whatever. This is it. It's I'm a truther. I'm gonna pathologically lie. I'm gonna make stuff up because I'm upset with what he said. That's the whole movement. I appreciate you proving me right because it's just we are truthers, so we will pathologically lie about anything in our stance and just dig ourselves. Just be honest, bro. God is watching. The world is watching. You can lie to yourself all you want. You could lie about other stuff. You could lie about me. But I know the truth. You know nothing about it. And if I wanted to, I could 100% prove that that's false. Everybody knows that. But it's this is the movement. Well, I put a Q in my name. I know conspiracies. Pedophiles are real. So I just have unlimited. I'm just going to lie. It's a wicked thing. The truth will set you free. So if you want to use this as an excuse to just make stuff up, then, it is what it is. You're not going anywhere. Bro, I literally have some of the best videos pointing out communism. Literally. The CARES Act, in my opinion, was communist. Operation Warp Speed was not communist, but it was socialist. He's giving taxpayer money to big pharma. Trump did more socialism and communism. I have videos with millions of views. I'm not tooting my own horn because there's a lot of great people. But when it comes to explaining the Communist Manifesto and explaining why it's wicked and explaining why the Communist Manifesto is a trap for big government, in my opinion, enslavement, I don't think there's very many videos that are better than mine that could get through to even a communist or a leftist and be like, oh, yeah, communism is actually bad. So why would I be a communist when I literally have some of the best videos on the internet explaining why communism is bad? I don't support communism. Bro, you're a pathological liar, dude. You could put a Q in your name. You could lie to yourself. But at the end of the day, it's like you're just spiraling. God bless you. But, lying about me is not going to help you. It's not going to save the kids. Like, you got to be accurate. If you just call everybody a racist, the word doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, it doesn't mean anything now. So, if you want to play these games, you're only hurting people and lying to yourself. But, that's on you. Let me see. Someone said you might not be lying, but you are for sure wrong about the whole Russia thing. I mean, you have a Ukraine flag in your bio. You got to listen to my new song, Ukraine Flag in the Bio. Should I play a little bit of it? You're not going to understand what I'm saying because you literally have a Ukraine flag in your bio. I get it. You might be from Ukraine. Listen, here's what I'll tell you, brother. Maybe you're from Ukraine. You look kind of Ukrainian. I don't know what Ukrainians look like, but your name looked kind of Ukrainian. I've never said Ukraine doesn't have the right to defend itself. Same with Israel, Palestine. Listen, I don't run the world. Okay. If you want to defend your country, that's on you, right? I'm not out here telling people what they have and can't do. But if you're Ukrainian, you have every right to go fly there and fight. I have no problem with it. If you're born and raised there, you love Ukraine. You don't want it to be part of Russia. You want to be part of the degenerate West and, collapse like America. That's fine. But what have I lied about with Ukraine? Name something I've lied about, because I've been straightforward. I think Ukraine has the right to defend itself. I'm just saying Zelensky is a Western puppet, NATO puppet, a actor producer who had a production studio called Kvartal 95 that created a television show to put himself in power, won the election, banned 11 political parties, now is like a 90-something% favorite to win the election because he banned literally 11 political parties. And I'm just saying that Ukraine is like a Western puppet state. It's just true. I mean, sure, if you want, that's fine, but I don't know. It's not like I'm out here saying Putin's amazing and it's the greatest person I've ever met. Like, I've never said that. So those are just inconvenient facts. If you want to believe Ukraine is just 100% righteous, they didn't lie about Snake Island story like they lied about. Their government hasn't lied multiple times on their Twitter account. It's confirmed it has. Even CNN has admitted it in some cases that they were wrong about these stories. If you want to act like it's just totally a free country fighting for democracy and not a Western puppet state, that's on you. But, maybe you want to be a Western puppet state. Join us, You can have LGBT drag queen story time. You could have speech censorship. You already do. It could be fun. I don't know. Maybe it's better than Russia. Russia's a cold place. Putin's a little authoritarian. Maybe you guys need more, trans kids or something in Ukraine. But I don't know what I said. Like, I don't really take a massive stance on it because I just tell people that. And personally, I'm an American citizen, so I don't feel good about $15 billion of my tax dollars funding a war that, in my opinion, we helped create. Yes, Putin invaded, but we also infringed on certain agreements. We also rejected them with the international community. Putin tried a few times to be a part of it. We've rejected it. We funded weapons to Ukraine for 6 years. We've gotten closer and closer. We had American politicians fly to Ukraine, declare war on Russia. We had Morgan Freeman in 2017 declare war on Russia. So I'm not dumb enough to be like, oh, this just started yesterday when Putin invaded. It really didn't. It started with the 2014 revolution in which 100 people died and they went from maybe you support the revolution. It's not a big deal, but I don't know what part that I really lied about. All of that is pretty factual. And, now I believe we're fueling the war even further. So, it's the same thing with like Syria. If you're Syrian and you're Ukrainian, you have the right to feel that way. But here's my personal opinion. If you're Ukrainian and you live in America and you support the war, I think personally you should fly there and go fight in it. I don't think you should sit in America, tell me I'm a liar, Tell me that I need to give $15 billion of our taxpayer to that country in a war that you're not willing to fight. If you're Ukrainian and you have a Ukraine flag in the bio and you're in America right now or in another country, you should fly to Ukraine and you should put your money where your mouth is, because my money's where my mouth is. I don't believe in this war. I don't believe in funding Ukraine. I want them to fight their own war, just like I want Syria to fight their own war. I don't think we should have invaded. Just like, Pakistan or wherever. It's like, listen, I'm not trying to run all over the country giving billions of dollars. I mean, in some cases, we gave money to a country for sex change. It's like, I have to support that. Now, I'm tired of America being a puppet state. We give money to Israel. We give money to this country. We give money to Mexico. We give money to South America. We give money to Ukraine. We're funding a war in Ukraine. We're dropping bombs in Yemen. We're dropping bombs in Somalia. It's like, I don't have to agree with that. I don't know what part am I lying about. But, all I'll say is this. If you got a Ukraine flag in your bio and you're not over there fighting the war, you have nothing to say to me, bro. They are literally crowdfunding this war. They want soldiers. Go there. Like, you are doing nothing with the Ukraine flag in your bio. Nothing. That does nothing. Your flag does nothing. If you believe in this war so bad, you got to go to Ukraine. If you're not going, you're a coward with a flag in the bio. Go fight the war that you believe in. I don't believe in it, so I'm not fighting. I'm like Bryce Mitchell. If there's a war on my soil, I'd fight there. I'm not a dual loyal person. I'm Italian, I'm Polish, but I don't love Italy as much as America. So if Italy's in a war, if I believe in the war, I'm going to fly to Italy and fight. If not, I'm going to shut my mouth and not put a flag in my bio and serve my own country. But the problem is this country has a bunch of people that have no loyalty to this country. They're willing to sell us out as a puppet state to a bunch of different foreign countries and then tell me that I'm wrong about something that I'm right about. So, that's my take. You have nothing to say to me if you're not in Ukraine. If you are, God bless you. You're brave and good luck, and you have the right to defend your thing. But if you're going to sit in this country or another country and talk about how you believe in a war that you're not fighting yourself, that you're literally allowed to fight in, it's the most fraudulent thing, in my opinion. So, I've never said Putin was amazing. I never said Ukrainians are bad. You have the right to defend yourself, but I'm not a dual citizen. I don't believe in Israel, Ukraine. I got to help the world. I love everybody. Israel, God bless. Ukraine, God bless. But I'm not a dual citizen that I'm just like funneling money from a different country to another country. Like, that stuff needs to stop. I'm tired of that stuff. If you're Mexican, it's like Cat Williams told one of his people. There's nothing wrong with being a Mexican American, but if you have more loyalty to Mexico than America, then go to Mexico. If you have more loyalty to Israel, Ukraine than America, then go there. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's millions of people in Israel and Ukraine, but it's like, if you're going to be in America or another country and be more loyal to another country, then go, especially Ukraine. They need your help. But it's like, everybody wants to treat America as if it's like a non-existent, we can't have borders, we can't have sovereignty, we have to fight all these wars. I don't want to be in any war until my border is secured. If we secure our border, we secure our culture, I have no problem helping another righteous country, but our country's falling apart. And the reason our country's falling apart is because we're in Ukraine and we're funding Ukraine and we're funding this country and we're in Syria and we're in Somalia and we're trying to tell Palestine they need to be gayer. It's like, I don't support any of this stuff. It doesn't mean I hate Palestine. It doesn't mean I agree with, every principle of Islam. It just means like, I don't understand why America has to fall apart and funnel, billions of taxpayer dollars to a country that, honestly, sorry, Ukraine is a puppet state for the West and NATO. Zelensky's a fraud. Zelensky's an actor. Zelensky's a producer. Zelensky's fueling this war just as much as Putin, and he knows what he's doing, and that's how I feel. Gordzilla said, what do you do when you want to buy your liberal friends a God bless hat, but their heads are too far up their own butts to wear them? Man, I don't really know. I don't know what you should do at that point. I guess, maybe just not let them wear it. I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm really not, but it's like, and I'm not joking. Like, I just don't understand people that have a Ukraine flag in the bio that aren't in Ukraine. There's never been a war that's been so easy to join. Really. There never has. Like, I am anti-war. I'm not flying to Ukraine. I don't believe in their narrative. But if I did, I would be there. I mean, it's like with the military, I believe this too, where it's like, I mean, you could make a case for a war, but look at all of these think tanks that have these like little chody men that are like 50 years old that are like, so pro-war, and they've never even fought in a war. I just think that crazy. Like, you can make the point for a war, but they try to call you all sorts of names if you don't support a war. I'm not trying to be rude to this guy because I appreciate you watching, even though you think I'm wrong. I'm just saying this is the one war that really nobody can really talk about, because it's like, if you really support it that much in America, even if you're not Ukrainian, they're looking for soldiers. They literally were allowing people to fly there. So it's like the flag in the bio is like a black square in the bio. It does nothing. You can literally fight that war. It's a scary thing to do, though. It's easier to put a flag in the bio than to go fight against Putin's army. I get it, but it's like, you can't tell me I'm wrong if you're not in Ukraine. If you're in Ukraine, you could tell me you're on the ground, you're fighting. But, I just, like, I'm seeing certain people on Twitter even like, dude, I'm like, are you in Ukraine? Oh, you're in New York City? Go to Ukraine, bro. I'm not funneling money to Zelensky. He's the biggest liar. He's the biggest liar. I'm sorry. Even if, like, I like America, but Joe Biden's a liar. I love America, but Joe Biden's a liar. Ukraine's cool to me. I have no problem with Ukraine. I love Ukraine. Zelensky is a fraud, okay? That guy is such an exaggerator that the country of Israel told him to stop exaggerating about the Holocaust. I mean, it's pretty bad when Israel looks at you and says, dude, you got to stop. He's Jewish also. And it's like, dude, stop. You know what I'm saying? Stop with that. Like, it's pretty bad. That's how bad of a liar and exaggerator Zelensky is. He's an actor, producer, and everything's a show to Zelensky. Oh my gosh, it's the Holocaust 4.0. It's terrible. And Israel's like, no, it's not as bad as the Holocaust. Stop lying. It's like, I mean, if you want to fight that war, that's fine. But I don't. Literally, Israel told him to stop exaggerating. It's pretty bad. Snake Island story, he lied about. Why is he lying all the time? If it's such a righteous, why like, is he a Joe Biden? It's a good country, just a bad leader. I mean, I don't know. Not trying to be rude, but I can't listen to people that won't go fight that war. If you want to send so much of my money and have, weapons going there, you got to go there, in my opinion. Someone says self-promotion is his game. I think he's like Fauci. I mean, he's an actor. You think actors don't want attention? Why else would you act? Actors are like some of the most narcissistic people. Not all of them, but it's like, of course, he's like a Fauci. He never wants it to end. There's deals that could be made with Putin. Putin asked for 3 things, and Zelensky said no multiple times. The West wants this war, whether people want to admit it or not. I'll play the song real quick. It's called Ukraine Flag in the Bio. No, I'll wait. You guys could just stream it if you want. Someone said I'm for America, America first. Those are only reasons why I rose my head up when Trump was running. Well, here's the thing about America first. Like, America is this melting pot of diversity. You don't really have that in very many countries. If you go to China, it's mostly Chinese people. Okay, they take in foreigners, but they don't shift their entire demographics. If you go to South Korea, they freak out when there's refugees. Like, they don't allow refugees. They keep their demographic. Most countries in the world do that. Not all, but most. You go to, Europe, and only Europe and America, they're like, yeah, we got to change the culture here. It's like, only here? How come not in Africa? Are you doing that in Africa? Are you doing that in Asia? So it looks like we're just the only ones that have to just, not even think about ethnic groups and stuff. Everybody else does it, but not us. Okay, whatever. So anyway, America, it's a beautiful place, right? There's a lot of great parts about it. What is the one thing that unites America, right? It's not really ethnic groups anymore, because we have a bunch of different ethnic groups, more than anywhere in the world, probably. Maybe there's another place, but as a big nation, we've got to be pretty top. Okay, what unites us? The flag, American patriotism, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the belief that I got to this country. I came from China. I came from Ukraine. I came from Mexico. I came from Saudi Arabia. I came to America for the freedom and for our rights and for the flag. That's the only thing that unites us, because it's not race, it's not culture anymore, it's not beliefs. So who's trying to take that away? The left, of course. They're trying to take that away. But also, now you have all this sort of stuff where on the right wing, they call you an anti-Semite if you don't want to be completely subverted and submissive to Israel. They say that you're wrong about a war if you're not completely like bending over for Zelensky and the narrative that Dan Crenshaw and people like George Soros are pushing, that, this is the biggest threat to our democracy. Magically, you have right wingers on the same side as Soros, which maybe maybe he's right about something, but I tend to disagree with him. I tend to think that, when Crenshaw and him agree on something, I'm a little more skeptical than excited for us agreeing. I'm like, okay, what war are we getting into now? But in general, it's like, now I hate to be a little rude. I'm passionate, but it's like, it's so annoying. You have the left completely trying to destroy our country. They don't care about anything, not border, not flag. They don't let us be united. On the right wing, they're run by a bunch of people that pretend that we're all about America. But the second you say that America should be sovereign from Israel, or we shouldn't have speech laws that Donald Trump and DeSantis passed, then they call you an anti-Semite. And you're like, I don't hate people. I just don't believe in speech laws. It's crazy, right? So we don't even have that. Now we have a bunch of right wingers that are telling us, oh my God, you're right about a lot. That's fine. I don't need to be right about everything. But like, you're wrong about Ukraine because I don't want to give $15 billion to Ukraine. I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm right. I'm an American citizen. I'm not a dual loyalist. I'm Polish, Italian, Czechoslovakian. I don't have dual loyalty to Poland. I don't have dual loyalty to Italy. I don't have dual loyalty to Czechoslovakia. I certainly don't have dual loyalty to Israel. I'm not even Jewish. If you are, I get it, but I'm not. If you have dual loyalty to Ukraine, I get it. I'm not Ukrainian. If you do, that's fine. But is it crazy that I want Americans to be loyal to America? Why is this the only country in the world where you can't have citizens that are loyal to you, and it's some sort of crazy thing to both sides that you're loyal? I always speak about this because I think it's a smart rule. In Israel, you can't be in politics if you have dual citizens. Someone brought up Dr. Oz, right? Dr. Oz has a Turkish citizenship. He would be disqualified for serving in the Knesset in Israel. It's probably a smart idea. I think he seems like a nice guy, Dr. Oz, but, having two citizenships, I like Israel's policy. If you have an American citizenship and an Israeli citizenship, you have to give up your American citizenship. If you have an Israeli citizenship and a Russian citizenship, you have to give up your Russian citizenship. That's what Israel does for their government. I think it's smart. I don't think it's racist. I don't think it's anti-American. I think it's logical, actually. So in America, can we do that? Oh, no. If you suggested that there's a dual loyal person in Israel, everybody will call you an anti-Semite. Ben Shapiro, the right wing, the left wing, it's anti. But they do that in their country. That's smart. I agree with them, but I can't say that in America. So you have hundreds of American politicians and media members who have dual citizenships, and it's clear that they have not only dual loyalty, but loyalty to another country. So with the Ukraine thing, I get if you're Ukrainian and you have dual loyalty to Ukraine. I get it, but I'm American, okay? I'm Italian, but I'm American. I'm Polish, but I'm American. I'm Puerto Rican, American. I'm Czechoslovakian, I'm America first. I believe in America 1,000 times more than Italy. I don't have loyalty to Italy. And everybody in America's got loyalty everywhere else. That's why Cat Williams, when he had this Mexican guy say, this is Mexico. Cat Williams, they said he was racist. Cat Williams said, no, this is America. If you want to go to Mexico, go back to Mexico. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's so racist. Cat Williams is like, yo, I have millions of Mexican fans. I'm not racist. That's like my second biggest demographic. I'm just being honest. I'm an American. This is America. That's what it is. It doesn't make you a racist, So I'm not trying to be rude to anybody, but it's like, I'm tired of everybody just sucking our country dry and telling me I'm so bad. No, I don't want to be giving money to sex changes in Pakistan or whatever they're doing, gender studies. I don't want to be giving money to Ukraine and the fraudulent puppet Zelensky. And no offense, but I think Israel has enough money. I don't think we should be giving so much money to Israel. Why are we it's aid to Israel? They're sucking our country dry. I'm sorry. It's like, do we get aid from our countries just doling out money to America? Like, do we get money? I don't know. Do countries just give us billions of dollars over time? Why? Why would they? I don't know. If you do a deal or something, sell weapons, I get it. But like, just giving free money all over the world, giving them is Ukraine giving us weapons? Do we get billions of dollars of weapons from Ukraine? Probably not. But I guess we give them weapons and fight a little proxy war and pretend like we're not a part of it. I don't know. I think I have the right as an American citizen to, think, hey, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Ukraine. Ukraine has the right to defend themselves. Israel has a right to do what they want. I'm not the purveyor of the world. However, I have the right to be America first. That's who I am. And the left wing is America last. The Republican Party is America third. We're not even second anymore. It's like Israel's before us, Ukraine's before us. Now they're all these Republicans and Democrats wearing Ukrainian flags. It makes me sick. At the American State of the Union, it's disgusting. If I went to a freaking Venezuelan election or like a Ukrainian election, I would be disgusted if there were American flags all over the place. Have some respect for your country. Why would you have a bunch of American flags at a Ukrainian, big State of the Union? If you're in Israel, I wouldn't expect you to have a bunch of American flags at an Israeli political thing. You should have Israeli flags. Why the hell is our country always have, like, the entire State of the Union, they have Ukraine flags. It's disgusting. This is America. You could talk about Ukraine. You could even send them money against my will. But have some damn respect for our country. I mean, the fact that we are such a puppet state, you got hundreds of politicians wearing Ukrainian flags and they don't even have an American flag. Just say we don't have a country, you know? And it's not just liberals, it's right-wingers. So I get it. You could support Ukraine, you could fight there, you could say that Putin would destroy it. Maybe he would make it worse. I have no idea. Maybe they'd be better under a Western government. I don't know. I've never claimed otherwise. I'm just saying I am an American. I'm an American citizen, and I'm not going to be told by a left winger that I can't feel that way. I'm not going to be told by a right winger that I have to support a foreign country or pass a speech law, or else they're going to lie about me in their press and say that I hate all Jewish people. It's like, I don't care what they do, because I don't, you know, and people know that I don't. I have thousands of Jewish people that watch me. No one's heard me ever say like a hateful thing. I just had a great conversation with a Muslim and my Jewish friend. You know, there's no hate here. It's just like, I don't believe in speech laws. And if you want to say I'm hateful for that, then call yourself a liberal. Don't call yourself a Republican. Call yourself something else, because you're not a conservative, and you're not a, you know, it's like I'm a word because I believe in the First Amendment. I don't believe in hate speech laws, and now all of a sudden I'm a bad person. You just agreed with me 5 minutes ago when it was for, you know, black scrutiny or something, but when it's Jewish scrutiny, oh my God, you're an anti-Semite. It's like, you know, I don't care what people do. I don't care what people say. I like this country. I appreciate the First Amendment. I appreciate the Constitution. I appreciate our national sovereignty, and there's nothing racist or hateful or wrong or anti-Ukrainian about that. I mean, you know, this empire is going to fall, and, you know, we're the big cash cow for everybody. I mean, we help Israel more than any other country in the world. We're helping Ukraine more than any other country in the world. Everybody wants to use us, and eventually there's going to be no more milk left for the, you know, left for dinner. So, you know, I think a lot of countries will miss us if we have no power or no status. You know, if we just got sucked dry and then we're just exporting our degeneracy. I mean, I believe in fixing ourselves internally. I don't think we're going to be around for forever to give people money and to give people weapons. You know, I really like this country, and you know, I'm not going to be told by anybody. I don't mind being wrong, but I'm tired of people being more loyal to other countries. It's definitely weird. I mean, I vote Republican because, like, the left wing is like America last. I mean, if you look at left wing climate change policy, left wing activism, you know, all these things are doing, there's only like one similarity in all their activism, because I'm trying to figure it out. Like, okay, you're against pollution, but you don't care about China as much. You're against rivers being polluted, but you don't care about India. You're against all these things, but like Greta Thunberg, you know, she's always talking about America. It's like, why are you not talking about China? Why are you not? I'm trying. And then you look at their other topics and you're like, how they talk about America and, you know, how they talk about other countries, et cetera. And I'm only finding one similarity is like, oh, you actually don't believe what you're saying. You just hate America. And I'm not just saying, oh, if you disagree with America, you hate America. No, I'm literally genuinely like, okay, you believe in this. You believe in the carbon, the climate change. Are you concerned with China? Oh, you're barely talking about China. You just hate America. So I consider left wingers America last. I think they literally, one of the only thing that seems to bring them together is their disgust with our past, our disgust with our present, disgust with conservatives, disgust with the flag. If you see a flag flying, 99% chance it's a Republican. Why? Because the left wingers don't even like our country. So, you know, I consider the left wing America last. I consider the Republican Party like America fourth or something. You know, they put Israel before it. Sometimes they put Ukraine before it. Sometimes they put Big Pharma before it. Sometimes they put work visas before it. Occasionally it'll be another country. Maybe it's like, you know, fight Saddam Hussein. But it's like, I still vote Republican because I'm like, okay, they like America. Republicans don't hate America. We're just not number one, right? We're like, there's other priorities. Like, we'll pass a speech law for a foreign country and call you a bad word, but we won't, you know, I'm like, that doesn't seem America first. If you really cared about this country, I mean, I have to be honest. I have to compliment Shapiro because he just retweeted me and I appreciate it. But I've seen Ben Shapiro say, if you have dual loyalty, if you say that someone has dual loyalty, that's anti-Semitic, right? If you just say that. And I'm like, in Israel, they don't allow people to have dual citizenry. It's not allowed in their government. Does that make them anti the world? No, it's smart. Israel's smart. You know, it's a smart government policy. It's, maybe some would call it paranoid, but it's smart. I don't think they hate other people that much. I think they just actually like themselves and they're not faking. You know, with our country, both parties would call me an anti-Semite if I were to suggest that we do what Israel do. Is that not a little weird that even Republicans would call me that word, not just liberals, for suggesting we do what they're doing or suggesting that we don't, pass a speech law? So the left wing is America last. The right wing is like, second, third, fourth, fifth, depends on the day. And I appreciate that. I'm glad we're not last in the Republican Party, but I would love to see a day when we had a political party or a culture that actually didn't want to hate ourselves or like prioritize ourselves fifth or sixth or seventh. I mean, it doesn't mean you hate everybody if you like yourself. It's just like, how much longer are we going to, give up our freedom and rights for other things like 9/11, Patriot Act? Now we got to give up this, and now there's metal detectors everywhere, and now there's terrorist laws, and now there's the Patriot Act, and now there's anti-Semitism, so we got to pass a speech law. Now there's racism, so we got to pass hate speech. Now there's this virus, so we got to do a lockdown. But Trump's going to do Operation Warp Speed, but it's not going to be mandated. But it is going to be mandated. But now we can't figure out what we're doing, and you're banned off an airplane. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is going in a bad direction. It's not everyone's fault, but it's like, I don't know. Do I have to think that that's all cool? Like Republicans did the Patriot Act. I don't think that was for the terrorists as much as it was for, I don't know, moms at a parent-teacher conference. Now it's like, oh yeah, the terrorists or the right-winger. It's like, wow, that only took 15 years for them to, they found bin Laden and I guess they got bored and now they're looking for like Becky, the 45-year-old mom who's against vaccines, They're like, oh, bin Laden's gone. I guess we should just, start hunting conservatives and, plotting fake Gretchen Whitmer things for them to get arrested over. It's like, dang, that happened pretty fast. Someone said that was Bush rhinos. I got to go soon, Nina, but I'll say this. That was Bush rhinos. But here's the flip side of the coin. All right, I'm going to make people uncomfortable here. I don't support the Bushes. I think they're establishment rhinos, as you say. George Bush gave us Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is the best Supreme Court justice. Trump gave us Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, who failed to even protect our basic rights with mandates and even lockdowns. I believe that they're going to be on the wrong side of that. But so, I mean, I'm not saying George Bush is better than Trump, but his Supreme Court, everybody knows Clarence Thomas is better than Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh. So Trump is this outsider who can't even pick a better Supreme Court justice than George Bush. But also, I think people need to realize a lot of these new age Republicans, some of them are better than rhinos, but some of them are rhinos too. And a lot of the biggest rhinos are the people that are calling everybody rhinos. They're like, we're fighting the rhinos. If you're such a non-rhino, why are you passing speech laws for a foreign country? If you're such a non-rhino, Donald Trump, why are you saying stuff like this? This doesn't sound like an anti-establishment non-rhino.
Vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
It's not one of the greatest achievements of mankind. He's lying. So it's like people got to get out of, in my opinion, at least. I think the Republicans are like, oh, everybody's a rhino except for Trump and these people. It's like they're kind of rhinos too. Like Ted Cruz is kind of a rhino. Trump is kind of a but they're just Republicans. Republicans are just not who they claim to be. They are another word where they prioritize a foreign country over America. So it's like, I'm not saying you got to hate them, but like this is going to get MAGA into trouble. It's like everybody but Trump's a rhino. Then why does he keep endorsing rhinos? Because he's kind of one too. He's better than some people, but in some ways he's really not. I mean, I don't like George Bush or George Bush Sr. I think they were total snakes. However, George Bush gave us Clarence Thomas. I mean, he is by far, in my opinion, one of my favorite people in recent history. I mean, I think he's literally like the best Supreme Court justice maybe in modern history, in my opinion. I like Clarence Thomas. George Bush gave us Clarence Thomas. Amy Coney Barrett sucks. Sorry, Brett Kavanaugh. These are not good choices, If Trump is such this revolutionary that's better than George Bush, why can't he pick a better Supreme Court justice? Why did he pick two Supreme Court justices that sided with forced vaccination? And Trump is running around doing the bidding of Big Pharma. Is that somebody that's so outside the system? He's not. So people got to just treat him like he's a rhino, in my opinion. But it's like, I don't know. It's like this amazing. You think I would pick a Supreme Court justice that was pro-forced vaccination? I could show you a tweet. Before he chose Amy Coney Barrett, I said, she's going to be pro-forced vaccination. I can show you the tweet before Trump chose. Do you know why I knew that? Because she was already pro-forced vaccination. She had already voted on it. We have her voting record. Look at me. If I, with a Twitter account, knew that Amy Coney Barrett, because I follow Robert Barnes, You think that Trump didn't know that? If I knew that with a Twitter account, no team, no budget, you think if I knew that she was pro-forced vaccination, that Trump didn't know? He doesn't care. He's not this anti-rhino hero. He doesn't care about you. It's so hard for people to realize, but it's like, if I could figure it out with a Twitter account, you think Donald Trump with like probably 100 advisors isn't thinking about this for the biggest decision, one of the biggest decisions of his career, picking a good Supreme Court justice who isn't going to allow us to fall to medical communism? He doesn't care. You know, I don't think he's that much, like, he's definitely better in some ways than Bush for sure. But, you know, it's like, how come Bush gave us Clarence Thomas then and Trump gave us Amy Coney Barrett? I don't know. That's a question that I'm just asking. I'm not sure what that means, but I find that fascinating because I don't think the Bushes were good at all, but I mean, Clarence Thomas is definitely epic. Like, I definitely like him. He seems like he's a real one, you know, which is so, I mean, it's sad that he's so old because it's like, I don't know. They really don't make him like Clarence Thomas anymore, you know? Like, I don't know where you'd find someone like that. And if there was a way to find someone like that, why didn't Trump find them? You know, there's got to be a judge somewhere that's as based as him, but I don't know. We'll see. All right. Someone said I'm out. I'm out too. It's late here. Appreciate it. Wow. That was 3 hours and 15 minutes. That was a marathon. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the discussion. Even people who disagree. I'm not a biologist either. But I am positive that I am a woman and I will be playing in the WNBA. So, you know, I'm not a biologist, but I will go to the WNBA tryouts and I will pretend to be a woman. And I will consider it hate speech to anybody who disagrees. I seriously am heavily considering trying out for the WNBA. Appreciate y'all. God bless you. Thanks for hanging out. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll be back soon.